Aloha and good morning, everybody. We are live in studio here on Oahu, getting our simulcast going with TNTV from Tahiti, and we're all here for the Super Taho'E. We've got a video coming up, and Micah, why don't you lead us into that?
What a just action-packed day that we're having. We just found out that in Tahiti, they finished their first leg of the morning, which was a sprint race. But obviously, we're going to go ahead and give you guys all the recap. But this is it. This is the best of 105 senior racers, but including, again, some of your veterans or your Masters division, as well as all of your other event paddlers. But right now, we're just focusing all on the men's. 105 in this race. The best of the best in Tahiti. If you guys love V1 and you love paddling, man, this is where to be right here.
This is it. So we got a quick recap of this morning's event, and we'll describe to you what's happening with it and how that affects the rest of the day. But we're going to be coming right back after this video with hopefully getting close to a start of this afternoon's big event, the long distance for the senior men at the Super Taho'E. But check out this video.
Let me remind you, the start for the U10s is at 8:15. It will be a straight line starting from the mud. Then you'll head towards the bay over there with the finish line right in front of the official stand, just here in front of me. So for the checkpoint upstream of Super Taho'E, the principle is simple. We start in groups of 5 every minute, beginning from the bottom of the ranking based on the timing from the previous Taho'E race. So every minute, 5 paddlers set off all the way up to the group of the best. It was a course of about 6 kilometers, so for the best paddlers it lasted around 30 minutes, and the seconds and minutes recorded at the upstream checkpoint will be added to the time from the main race later on to determine the overall ranking.
What's at stake for the paddlers, especially for those aiming for victory?
So the main objective is at least to stay within your group to make sure that the leaders of the Taho'E, among the last 2 or 3 groups that started, were the top 15 of the race, to keep up with the group and not fall behind in time, which will ultimately affect the overall ranking. So you have to pace yourself. You can't just go all out like crazy for 30 minutes and end up overexerting yourself. And above all, if you can catch up to 1 or 2 paddlers from the group ahead, you can gain a few minutes and secure a better ranking at the finish.
Long distance segments aren't really my strong suit either, but I still try to limit the damage and not fall too far behind for the second stage. But I think everything will come down to the longest one. There will really be tough conditions later on. So you really have to manage your race well and start off like in the first stage. The first stage is just a little warm-up, but
you shouldn't burn through your energy or lose too much time either. That's it.
Don't burn through your energy or lose too much time, and then, as I said, everything can be decided in the last stage. You'll definitely need to be mentally very strong and truly try to grab a few precious seconds if there are any to be gained at all.
For me, this is my first time participating. I didn't do it last year, and actually the first stage is a time trial. There are 5 of us talking, and
it's a very
kind of like a sprint. You have to push and push. You have to try to stay next to your teammates. I tried to keep up with my 2 teammates, Yoram and Manu, and I tried to limit the damage. I came in 3rd. I tried to limit the damage. I think it's on the second stage that everything will be decided.
It truly is.
Longer, and we'll really have to manage that stage and push at the right moment.
The 1-minute gaps either let you get caught or catch up to another group of 5 that started ahead.
There's a definite way to catch up with those who are ahead, and you absolutely have to push. It's very much like a short, intense sprint. I'm not really accustomed to short distances. I'm significantly better at enduring marathons.
There's no prize money here, is there?
There are some small waves, but you don't have time to glide properly. You just have to keep jumping and jumping. It pushes the cardio.
See you for the show at noon.
There you go. See you later. See.
It's the second time we've actually done this, but it's perfectly okay. It's a challenging race where you absolutely have to be present to diligently try to shave off as many crucial seconds as humanly possible for the upcoming second stage. I truly feel like it went exceptionally well, and we are eagerly expecting positive results for the foreseeable future.
Did you stay with your group of 5 or did you go up front?
The goal when you do a race is always to give your best. I think I managed to catch up with some from the group that left a bit earlier. So maybe I got a good time.
You didn't get caught from behind, that's the main thing, right?
Exactly, that's the main thing. Because the 5 who broke away are the contenders for the title. You've got big names like Bryce, like Kyle.
So it's all positive for the next race.
See you later.
For the show? Yes, thank you.
Wow, what a cool segment there, and honestly, like,
mind blown.
Uncle is over here,
mind
blown away at how quickly these stations learn English.
Yeah,
it's amazing, man. The learning curve is incredible. Wow. Okay, so that's the recap of this morning, and seems like they're really only putting so much emphasis on the morning. I mean, it is something that's there, but it's more about not making a mistake, but it really adds another element into this whole broadcast. Oh, and we just had our start here.
And this is perfect. So we rolled right into the stage 1, but we are live now on stage 2. This is it. This is your top 105 senior men paddlers here. This is for the big show right here. As you can see, our race start was clean. Again, 105 paddlers coming off the line, right? Point Venus. So just here we go. This is it.
And they're going to be doing 2 big laps down around to this with the finish after the second lap. And conditions-wise, it looks like a little overcast, maybe even a little rainy. It looks like it was raining this morning for sure, but if anything, a light drizzle right now. But great racing conditions as far as like keeping the temperature a little bit down, not overheating our racers, because they're going to be exerting. You know, this is an easy 2-hour race for these guys.
Yeah, check this out. So, again, we're doing 36 kilometers. We are definitely looking on the latter end of 2 hours, but your 105 paddlers have taken off. Conditions we're expecting to be slightly windy, a little bit of that rain kind of storm kind of condition. As you can see right here on our screen, they're in for a little bit of that battle and that challenge. We can see that wind direction is kind of questionable, not necessarily with them or against them. Just right now, they're kind of going through this huge rain squall, and how long this little storm is going to be there is kind of unknown. Kalai.
Yep. So you're a water guy. You know that as a storm comes in, it pushes. So there's always a little bit more wind in front, and as it leaves you, it leaves it kind of calm for at least a short period of time. And so we're going to see. Obviously, the first part of this run is the outside, and that's going to be where it's bumpy, if at all. But perhaps the wind might fill back in after the squall in the second round, and that's where the surfing will be. But getting a little bump, we're not sure, as Micah said, on wind direction. But it looks just kind of not really organized out there as far as the surface of the water. Kind of a little just bumpy.
Yeah, this is the race is a little bit different as the distance is a lot further than Taho'E that happened a month back.
Okay.
But as far as the first leg, for those of you that caught our opening segment here, there was a kind of a preliminary race previously. It was 4 kilometers, so it was about 30 minutes of paddling earlier today. So these paddlers have all raced previously, and they all tried to set a sprint time. So, 4 kilometers for some people is not a sprint. That's a distance already for them.
Yeah, right.
So this is the part where a lot of these paddlers feel that it doesn't really it might help them, but it doesn't really tell you who's going to be the best at the end of the race.
Right. At these longer distances, it's surely a different paddler, a different type of conditions, and certainly that length has a huge amount to do with it. As you saw with the Taho'E earlier, it was the one that happened a few weeks ago, the preliminary, the qualifier for this. It really was Brees trying to make a run at Kyle at the end, but there just was not enough time. And so, although he may have been a quicker paddler during that small spurt of time, it was the consistency throughout the race that really got Kyle to the podium, right?
Right. I mean, we heard an interview from Rete Ebb, just unreal paddler, somebody who's a lot of us have looked up to, and we've seen him over the years, being the steersman he is, the leader he is, and he was talking about maybe sprints not being his forte, and he kind of has a little bit, he's better with the marathon type of racing. I mean, that definitely goes for a lot of these paddlers in V1. Not necessarily might be the fastest in sprint, as well as somebody like Kevin, CJ, saying the same thing, you know. And just kind of speaking of him, it looks like that might be him right there on screen there in the white and red phi here on screen. But again, we're at that section where there's already like this downwind. We've got a swell hitting behind. And this is it. I mean, these are the parts they live for. Looks like Kyle took a much further outside line. I think we've called races where we've seen some guys do really well to the inside, closer to the reef line, near Arue Reef area. But right now, looks like Kyle taking this outside line, probably going to stick to this. For an update, for those of you that were watching our earlier segment, the winners for that first part of today was Hititua Tairea, who came in first earlier on that 4-kilometer sprint this morning. No stranger to winning, including some Aitos that he's been a part of, as well as Aloha Aito in Hawaii that he won. But he's also won Save Va'a as well. So the original race, he's actually won this race. So
right, a lot of people don't know that Save Va'a was the original name for the Taho'E.
Super Taho'E, yes, for Taho'E, yes, correct. So here we go on screen. We've got all of our top 105 paddlers. I mean, this is the fun part of this race. It's early on, and you already got this downwind swell here, and man, they're flying. These guys are absolutely tearing through the water right now.
These guys are good, man. Little increase, getting a little bump right there. Surf it.
Yes, for those that watch a lot of V1 paddling, a lot of it is getting a rhythm early in the race, so that way you can, maintain your position with these top elite paddlers. Again, it's really comes down to finding the bumps, running them as long as you possibly can, getting that rhythm early. We've got well over 2+ hours of competitive racing here. So you got to stay on your game at every part of this entire race in order to be one of those top tier or top 10 paddlers for this race. But big shout out to one of the presidents of Taho'E, Stevie Teotata. Just happy birthday, Oli
Lahanau from Hawaii.
And I hope you heal up. He had a little spill earlier today, and
stumbles today.
Just good recovery, hopefully, and out there on the water soon and whatnot. But right
sharing
now,
a picture earlier with him in a wheelchair.
Yeah, looked like he rolled his ankle and bust up his leg earlier. So just speedy recovery. And when I saw that, I had to message him. Hey, what happened?
Oh, shucks. Good thing he's not running marathons.
Yeah, good thing he's not running. He could just paddle. But I don't know if he's out there, but I am sure we'll get an update soon.
So as you watch on the left side of your screen, this is going to be one of the organizers from Taho'E. And you can see on her chest is a sticker with a red circle and the word ice in the middle of it crossed out. And so that's one of the things that guys like Stevie wanted us to make sure we convey is that there's a pretty serious problem with ice going on down there in Tahiti, and this is one of the areas that they're using to give the youth a different idea of how to spend their time instead.
Yeah, so again, just kind of one of those things that we've encountered kind of across the world. Drugs can be a pretty nasty problem for many of us. I mean, we had what was considered an epidemic when I was growing up.
We had one of our own.
Yeah, and it's a big issue, and we just really want to raise awareness to all of our young paddlers as well as our elders. Just kind of always setting a good example for those up and coming, but to stay away from that. You don't need that. Life is much better off of those things. It ruined a lot of life. So that's all they wanted to talk about.
And you know what I noticed too, and we share this with our Tahitian brothers here, but a good way to stay off drugs or help people that are in a recovery from something like ice, practice your culture, bro.
Oh, 100%.
Whether it's, hula, paddling, something else that's positive, that is really about defining who you are. Oh, wow, nice surfing run. Talk about defining who you are. There it goes.
If you want to stay off of that, go do this. Go paddle.
That gets your high right there. Doesn't that look like fun?
Oh, my
goodness.
Gosh.
But yeah, get out there, practice your culture, and this is really about the kids and the next gen.
Yeah, definitely appreciate that kind of conversation. I mean, it's a real conversation that we all have to have with maybe ourselves or, with everyone around us. And, look out for your friends, just do what you can to be a good person out in the world, and try to always lift people up. Don't tear them down. Some people are going through a lot of things in their life. So that's another message to convey to everyone is, stick together, work to get all those situations out. But check this out. I mean, look how much paddlers
it's kind
are
of
in
stormy conditions, bro.
It's unreal. I mean,
and Kyle's nowhere near the front.
Yeah. And even right now we're looking at somebody like Kyle or CJ on screen who, are just surfing unreal. Looks like it could be a couple of our OPT paddlers up front. Maybe none other than it could have actually been Hotu up front with just on screen previously, but we'll start getting some updates like always. We got to filter out some of our paddlers to start pointing them out to you guys, but I mean, check this out on screen. Looks like having a really good
They're all moving
run.
so well. God, the level of all these guys is so high.
The surfing right now is just, they love this. This is what they live for, is being in conditions like this, where you're not really fighting the elements of flat water, but you have movement, and the V1 thrives in the movement.
Oh, yes. If you can control it, right? It's like a good horse.
Yeah, so right here we got on screen number
CJ.
2, Kevin, CJ. Definitely a paddler that's has what we could say is considerably one of the most amount of wins for any type of V1 race across the world, if you will. But just putting on a clinic for us to view. And, if you guys want to learn how to surf, this is the guy you can absolutely watch. If you're a young paddler, a junior paddler, and you find inspiration in V1, you can search up any of these paddlers here, but CJ is definitely somebody you can learn a lot from. And
if you want to see CJ do something magical, just replay the end of day 3 of Hawaii Nui last year, where he was steering, coming around the point, and just it seemed through his own efforts took his crew right to first place, coming around with that surf run right there. Incredible.
Yeah, that was unreal to see. I mean, we called that race, and we out of nowhere he steered his crew against obviously some top tier teams. For him at Huahine, what a great captain he was, and just unreal sportsmanship. To get out there and battle.
Yeah, very humble guy.
So a lot of you watching, check this out. All of these paddlers have hydro packs. They want to keep their hydration levels, in the green. Definitely don't want to go in the yellow or the red. So you see them with their necktie, and it's just time to take some water and some hydration in. But check this out. This paddler was at a dead stop and just burned right past about four racers in a matter of 15, 20 seconds. And
gosh, what has he got in that water?
Just incredible. But the cool thing for me is watching all of these different V1s and how they paddle. There's probably close to maybe 6 or 7 different models out on the water, and right here on screen, they did give us an update. It's going to be 30 kilometers. So this morning they totaled it to 36 kilometers for the entire race series, but this is leg number 2. So as you can see, it's actually a lot further than it was stated. So they're actually going to go around Rue Reef, and they're actually going to head back up around Point Venus, and they're actually going to head up towards the east side a little bit further up, and they're actually doing like a figure 8. So that's the course, just so they can get the mileage in. Typically, they might they would probably run from Point Venus all the way around from Arue Reef, and to the left side you can see that there's another reef line going into the harbor, kind of into main town there. That used to be like a typical run for a lot of these types of races, but this is the new figure 8 that they've created. And this race is a challenge in so many ways, because you get the downwind section in the very beginning, and then you kind of come inside. Hopefully you get a cleaner water, if you will. But with days like this, I don't know if you're going to actually get those types of clean conditions.
So 30 kilometers is roughly about 18 and a half miles.
Yep.
So somewhere near what we saw last week over the Queen race on the Big Island of Hawaii, about the same distance and about the same times, really. It's going to take them roughly about 2 hours for our top finishers.
For sure.
But, yeah, like you said, I like the variety of conditions. You can't be a one-trick pony. And especially when you're doing a 6 kilometer this morning, which is probably, in the neighborhood of 3 miles. It's relatively short, half an hour, but you got to be good there and you got to be good in the distance. But if you really want to win, you got to be good at reacting, at learning, at anticipating how the conditions are going to change your course and how you need to paddle, and adjusting quickly.
Yeah, I think on screen it looks like it might have, looks like right here we got this white phi. Don't have a confirmation on the paddler, but as far as to the left, if I'm not mistaken, that could be Lister Putu from Shell Va'a. Had an incredible race previously. We called him. He actually ended up in, obviously the top 10. We were calling his name quite often. But top tier paddlers across the board. It looks like it could be on that Va'a Tihuri Tawa. Not too sure who that is. But the cool thing, again, is we're seeing, again, different boats for different people. In that picture right alone, we have a Tehuri Tawa, we've got an Are Marara, and then we've got a Tibi Va'a. All 3 boats battling up in the top front here. Just goes to show any of these V1s could fit you best and perform to the top levels. So
yeah, the technology is pretty much on par across the different boat builders. It's not like one is a whole different, night or day, and a lot of it is adjusting to the kind of stroke you like, your overall weight in the boat. There's a lot of different variables that may make it fit better for you, but really it's not the Arrow, bro. It's the Indian.
True that. And I think right now, like on screen, we see all of these paddlers react very similarly, depending on the bump, the swell, the direction. But even right now, I mean, just on screen, just look how smooth that was and how great this paddler was. As of right now, we're, getting, some of our feeds getting switched in and out as we are approaching about 16 and a half minutes into this 30-kilometer race. Again, about 18 plus miles. Just incredible. But look at this, Kalai. These guys are flying.
What a great run.
This whole section has all been downhill.
I bet they wish it was just 30 kilometers of this. Now, that would be good fun. But, again, they're going to test them in all conditions. Ladies and gentlemen, again, you are watching Ocean Paddler TV's live simulcast via TNTV feed. Mahalo to Olivier and the guys down in Tahiti sending us this video. But we're here for the Super Taho'E 2025. We're going to take a break to mahalo our sponsors, and we'll be right back.
It's the Super Taho'E live simulcast with our friends from TNT TV, brought to you by Are Tahiti. ShopOutrigger.com.
Mahalo to TNT TV and the organizers of
Super Taho'E.
and by Ocean Paddler TV, dedicated to making outrigger canoe paddling a spectator sport. We live for the water, the adventure, the speed, the freedom. But nothing matters more than staying safe out there. That's why we trust Voga Va'a flotation vests. Available now at shopoutrigger.com.
For me, it's a Ferrari, this canoe. The V1 teaches you a lot. It can be a boat for beginner because when you're beginner, you don't expect nothing from a boat. You will learn with the boat. So the Marara is a boat for everyone. It's a boat who can increase the glide like very high. You can, in 2 or 3 strokes, you can improve like 1 or 2 kilometers. So that's why I love the Marara.
Get yours at shopoutrigger.com.
Allow us to help you grow your brand and expand your business by reaching Hawaii's giant outdoor sports and ocean enthusiast demographic. Zone Media specializes in social media content production and distribution, drone and video production, cutting-edge live productions, and more. With over 25 years leading Hawaii's action sports market, give us a call to find out how we can help you grow your business.
We live for the water, the adventure, the speed, the freedom. But nothing matters more than staying safe out there. That's why we trust Voga Va'a flotation vests. Available now at shopoutrigger.com. Made with flexible neoprene for comfort, built tough for every condition. Safe, comfortable, and you'll look great too. Because the ocean deserves your best, and so do your loved ones. Voga Va'a flotation vests. Make it home safely. Gear up today at shopoutrigger.com.
All right, we're back to the Super Taho'E from Tahiti live via our feed at TNT TV. And just on the right there, you were seeing Voga Va'a and some stuff from Shop Outrigger, some great life vests. If that's something you need, or going to be racing in an area that requires it. But on the beach, going to an interview on our left.
La remontée et dans le dernier surf de tout donner, quoi. C'est ce qui s'est passé. Bon, Georges aussi m'a tenu tête tout le long de la course. Voilà, ça s'est joué au finish, mais pour moi, je suis
all right, so on your right, again, we're watching the race. This is the first few miles of the Super Taho'E in the downwind leg before they make that 180-degree turn back up the coastline to the inside waters.
Yeah, when we see stuff like this, I mean, just on screen, super cool. Like we had Lono on there, and again, just representing Palafamala, and just really, really cool to see. But right here on screen, back to your live coverage here of your Super Taho'E 2025. We're gonna see who's gonna come out on top. Again, you know, this race has a lot of elements to it. We've got this long downwind section here. If you watched the previous Taho'E, it was like flat conditions. Wind was relatively low. It was hot. It looked humid. Paddlers were saying that they were, you know, a little bit overheating, but not the case for today. We've got this nice little storm that kind of hit in here.
Bro, this is perfect paddling
time.
weather.
This is, hey, we're going to get wet anyway out there, but at this time, you know, these paddlers are excited because this, they didn't have this at Taho'E. This time, we've got actual, you know, surf. We've got a run happening. We got probably, you know, that 1 to 3 kilometer or 1 to 3 meter kind of swell where you got a little bit of bump. You got something happening underneath you the whole time. You've got wind and current and waves. So just a lot of elements.
And, you know, these top paddlers with no drag from a rudder and the way these canoes are shaped, they're able to use it, you know. Look at that. Beautiful paddling. Beautiful paddling. And folks, really, this is perfect paddling weather. You want it to be a little cooler so you're not overexerting yourself.
Yep.
A little bit rougher texture, especially if it's going in the direction that you're traveling.
Yeah.
That's going to be great for these paddlers. And so really kind of a great opportunity for these top-level Tahitian paddlers to showcase what they're capable of.
Yes, super really cool to see. There's a lot of people tuning in, trying to, you know, give their shout-outs via Facebook. That feed is coming directly from TNT TV here. We're actually being able to do the simulcast. We've been working with TNT TV for a few races now, and, you know, it's always exciting because they're always bringing such unreal footage for us to kind of cover. We're seeing a whole spread right now of the 100-plus paddlers. But on screen, just, again, working through this downwind section here. All the paddlers are relatively close within reason. As we round Arue Reef and we start coming back into that inlet or that kind of that little channel that they're going to actually be coming into. They're actually going to paddle back to where they started, towards Point Venus and back around Point Venus, and they're actually going to make their way
up the coast
coast. Yeah. So again, 30 kilometers, 18 miles. We're only 23 minutes in, and I can only imagine some of that previous adrenaline dump that happened maybe in the sprint,
the morning's race.
That adds a little bit of character to you, know?
Yeah, it can be fatiguing. But, look at this beautiful opportunity we have to kind of dissect downwind V1 at this moment. And nobody may be better than you, Micah, but really what is kind of the headspace or the game plan that you're in when you're downwind surfing this kind of small chop like this? Is it to be opportunistic?
Yeah, I think for any paddler that goes through conditions like this is taking advantage of every bump, but not burning yourself out. Because you're using this element to continue. But right here we got Revi Tongsing. We covered Revi not too long ago. Winning one of the Aitos that we previously covered. But man, you can just tell right here. We're just watching him, just kind of like we just talked about, taking advantage of the smaller bumps and trying to just gain a little bit when you can, especially right now as we see him attacking this small section here. Again, just utilizing the motion of the canoe and just stabilizing and taking advantage of it. Little check around to see who's around him. Most of these paddlers know their competition within the competition. I mean, all of them are extremely competitive, but you also want to kind of gauge who you were around previously, maybe the previous Taho'E that they raced. And obviously this morning's race plays a factor. So, for example, Hiti Tua won previously, and he was probably maybe 40 seconds ahead of Revi. So, you want to keep that person within striking distance. Yeah,
they're all within shot.
Yeah.
So it's kind of interesting, from a OC1 perspective, you could probably paddle on either side, but from the V1 perspective, as you can see from this shot, the swell and the energy is coming off their rear quarter, maybe like 5 o'clock or so.
Sure.
Right? So they're going to want to paddle on the right side to keep that nose down to the left when they're actually paddling hard.
Yep.
And then they're going to check steer when they come over to the other onto that left side to kind of keep themselves on course while staying on and using the energy of that little bump as much as they can.
Yeah, definitely. That's definitely something we're seeing right now. We have probably about a quarter mile separation from the paddler furthest on the inside towards the reef line. And then we've got, paddlers sticking to the outside. Looks like there is a little bit more swell, as you can see on screen. You can kind of see that movement. Less reverb off the reef line, though. So, it's kind of the trade-offs depending on what lane you're going to take.
But it would seem like some of the guys that are they're all great surfers, but a guy like Kevin Sarajur-Salemi, he was kind of a little more outside line. He's going to use that wave coming in off of his rear right quarter to kind of surf down into that turn. Yes. So here's our current standings right now.
Yeah, current standings from this morning. You can see the time was 30 minutes, 7 seconds. Hiti Tua Taidea, again, a previous Aito champ and winner of Seiva'a. Keith Vernadon and Temoana Taputu. All these names we've listed, we've talked about probably pretty consistently. But that's your top 10. They're currently leading the entire pack. You can see there's a plus 2 seconds, 6 seconds, etc. That means that paddler, in order to make up the difference, needs to be that much further ahead. But all the way down the list, I mean, you start looking for who won it. The Taho'E previously, the only name within that top 15 was going to be Hotu Paroi. So, it's just interesting, right? Because we didn't see Kyle's name in there, CJ's name in there, Manutea's name in there. So, kind of interesting,
But also that distance or that time between the first finisher and whatever the top 20 was that we were looking at there is relatively short. Right? And that much time might be easy to make up,
right,
in a long distance, a 30-kilometer like this.
Sure.
However, when we, off of what we saw at the Taho'E earlier where Brees was making his run, if he had a few seconds of credit,
sure,
on Kyle Taho'E, he could have came first.
Yeah, exactly, and that's why it's to me it's such a cool concept to have this race. It just added a little bit more of a dynamic to kind of the challenge that's ahead of these paddlers because they're all so good and so talented. This should be a little fun section here. We see this. They're gonna head around this red buoy here. This is going into the pass of Arue. So heading through the pass here, they're going to make their way down into the coastline and then run the inside all the way back to Point Venus.
And we're about a quarter of the way into this race based on time, right? We're expecting this race to take just over 2 hours, probably.
Yes.
And so at a half hour, and geographically, when you think of Point Venus as the center, this is their first turn that they've made. So kind of we're at a quarter of the way, and man, what a great little surf run that was to watch.
Yeah, and so just here in general, right, we're starting to see a little bit of that leadership pack kind of set the tone here for probably the rest of the race. We really, when it comes down to it, this is the surf run that they're going to experience right now. This is probably the better part of the surf run here. As they make their way back into the coastline, we've seen last month's race, the Taho'E, how much of a challenge it was. But here's your course map right here. They are currently, again, they ran the reef here. They're at the Taho'E Pass here. So this is the exact point where most of our leaders are at. And again, like you said, Kalai, we're quarter of the race in, and we still got a lot more to go.
There's a lot more water out there for these paddlers, but it seems like that squall has passed.
Yep.
Conditions have changed. Our production team down at Tahiti looks like they've sent the drones up, and now we're going to get some great shots from them now that the rain has cleared.
Yep.
And really, I mean, like, just type of water, what it's looking like, conditions from that little squall that came through. There's so many different pictures that these races are looking at today. And really, from what I've learned over the years, it's the guy that can react to the conditions the quickest, that really gives himself a little bit of an advantage.
Yeah, I would agree with that, Kalai. As we see this is your leader pack here, where they're all making their way into Taho'E Pass here. This part of the race is kind of that grind. You might want to try and make up some gappage here. Here's your leaders of the pack.
Nice.
We've got Revi Thong Sing, Kevin, Saran Jerusalemi, and then we have Brees Punua Hitua. So just your top three right there in the mix. We've seen how strong Revi can be. He absolutely dominated previous race that we called last year, where he probably put himself a good couple of football fields ahead of the field at one point. Kevin, definitely somebody we've watched over and over.
Cannot count that guy out.
Put himself in position to win, and of course, Brees is that guy who is going to give everything he's got, and those three paddlers for sure are something that we could have won this race at any time.
I feel like Brees's all-out assault in the last quarter of the race earlier with the regular Taho'E, man, that was something to watch, really. I mean, it paid off for him, but he wasn't able to get gold. But, man, to just see a guy with that much left in the tank.
Yeah, that performance level that he's at, it's
incredible.
It's second to none. I mean, I've been able to, race against them in small races, such as ones down in Bora, or just in general, just kind of being around them. And, man, it's just unreal to see the amount of skill set that these paddlers possess. But you can learn a lot from them in person, just the kind of things that they experience and they go through, because they work hard. They work extremely hard to be at the level they are at. And, some people say you're born with it and kind of that natural talent. But in order to be born and have the natural talent, you still got to put in the effort to keep maintaining that top level, because all these other paddlers here have all the same skill sets, and it just comes down to positioning within everything. As we saw earlier, CJ took that outside line. Revi took the inside once again. He did the same thing on a previous race we called, where he was probably, again, quarter mile in, but when they got to this red buoy, CJ closed the gap up really quickly.
He surfed right down in.
Yep.
And that's one of the things that CJ is known for. But Kevin Saran Jerusalemi is not a guy ever to be counted out. I mean,
Never.
He won this last year's Pa'a. solo here in Hawaii. And so really when there's any surf to be had, he's just a juggernaut. But this area where now they're going to be turning up into a kind of a flatter inside waters, and maybe this is a place where just a real tough guy like Brees is able to make up some ground here. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, just looking at that, we see all the fluorescent green high-vis jerseys on the water. Just what a cool sight. I mean, we've seen this train of paddlers before.
Quite a few times, brother.
This right here is kind of a cool shot for us because, you can kind of really see the difference of all these paddlers. And the one thing that you can consider is now that race that had happened this morning, because you still have to make up certain times. So, for example, in this situation here, if CJ is leading, even though he might be leading the pack, the overall time is what really, really counts. Of course, he could be considered the winner of this event here, stage 2, but it might not mean he wins the overall. So this is such a cool concept to have.
Yeah, you wouldn't think it'd be that big of a deal, but it surely adds another dynamic to the whole thought of the racing and how to really win. You really got to be have a good planned out strategy based upon what your strengths are.
Yeah, and here we go. We're again 7 kilometers in of our race here, so pretty close to, like you said, pretty close to that that quarter of a distance here. We've got 30 kilometers total, a little over 2 hours of racing. Looks like we have a battle right here between Revy and Kyle, both right there in the red and white canoe. The red canoe, the all red, is going to be Revy, and the white canoe is none other than CJ. So those two just kind of battling it out for position. I think right now there's definitely no letting up. You can't let up. You're still early in the race. There's still a lot of energy for all of these paddlers. And I think, like they said, it's a marathon. It's time in the water and just trying to maintain position. But
yeah, there's no breaks.
No breaks.
It's not like football.
Nope.
Where breaks in between plays or you
don't
call
get
a timeout. There's
that.
no timeouts, bro. And really, or even like, especially as I love to yell at my paddlers in the boat. Hey, this ain't golf, bro. You got to work.
Yeah.
There's no picking your club head and taking a sip of your, bro, you got to work the whole time.
The whole way.
It's these guys that really have that true grit in them that sometimes make the best paddlers.
Can we just appreciate what the weather just did for these guys?
What a 180,
It's insane. I mean, 35 minutes ago, we were talking about stormy conditions to check this out. Back to crystal blue, clear water. Texture is pretty great on the inside. I'm sure it's still relatively overcast as we've seen the conditions from this morning till now. Mm-hmm. But we do have this whole train of 100-plus paddlers right here. This is the best of the best in Tahiti. All of them are not only representing, obviously, as an individual, but most of them are representing a club. And they're kind of here. But as Kalei was mentioning earlier, we have a pretty big distance in between first place and the last position paddler. Probably, would you say maybe close to 3/4 of a mile or so?
Yeah, half mile. But even at that, thinking that we're a quarter way through a 30-kilometer race, right? We're probably, what is that?
8 kilometers.
We're probably like at 7 or 8 kilometers at this point, right? That's a pretty good distance, bro. And they're only the best 105 paddlers are still within that half mile.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people that are just less than a minute off of the leader
time, right?
A lot of guys. And that is, you still have another, what is that? 20 kilometers to go at least. And that's a lot of time to make it up, man. It's a lot of time.
Yeah. So, for example, your leader right now on screen, we have Kevin in second place, Revy right here in the all red phi here. Just giving you guys a little bit of that update. He was a minute and 6 seconds or a minute and 3 seconds off of the leader. So he actually came in 39th place this morning. So again, if we're talking about time is really against you if we come to the latter part of this race and you're again a minute behind the leader, and all Hititua has to do is come in, basically
like
58
45 seconds later, he
just
still
58
kills
seconds
it, right?
ahead
Yeah.
and actually beats you.
Yeah.
So that morning race kind of gives you that, oh man, this could be close. We don't know who's going to win this, irregardless of what happens.
This is a genius move too by the
I love it.
by the coordinators of this race. Because think about it, you're watching the finish and you can't watch the first three guys come
Right.
across the line and be like, oh, that was a great race, and change a channel.
No.
You got to sit here and watch the first 30 come across the line and wait for them to calculate all the times.
Yeah, check this out. We do have Keone Sopis right here from Shelva'a. He had a great race earlier today as well, coming in 11th place. And right now, he's a part of that leader pack. He's probably sitting.
He might be the leader right now.
At this point, that's
Yes,
what it might
in the
be.
overall for the day.
Yeah, he could be the leader. I did see Keith Verdadon not too far behind, but we also have some of your OPT leaders as well. But currently on screen, it looks like 1, 2, 3 is going to be Revi, Dongsing in 1, CJ in 2. Right behind them, we have Brees in the 1, 2, 3. Keone Sopis is in 4th place. So realistically,
He might be our leader.
it's actually Brees is currently in the lead right now
Yes.
overall, and then right behind is going to be Keone Sopis, just based on time. Which is pretty brilliant. It's again, it's like the level of these paddlers. You might be good at both. You might be only good at one. But realistically, the overall paddle and situation. But we've talked about this man right here on screen. I mean, just one of the cleanest, most fluid and smooth paddling we've seen from a lot of paddlers.
He doesn't seem very rushed in his paddling. He's very intentional. You can definitely see him applying, in that front part of his stroke. But he's very relaxed. His
Right.
body, it's hard to see that he's relaxed because he's just like every shred of muscle popping out of his jersey. But
For sure.
he's definitely like the shoulders are relaxed. He's kind of CJ always looks relaxed.
He looks always relaxed. He has a sense of the understanding of power behind his blade, that constant pressure. But even right here, I mean, man, all of these paddlers are looking unreal. Right here, again, Keone Sopis on your screen. Always a battler, definitely comes in to put as much effort and work as he can. Something to kind of note, he is a part of the shell team. He was sitting a lot in seat 1. I've seen some videos where he's variated. He's gone from seat 1 to 2, some 5, and back in front. But just right now, we're gonna kind of throw it out there. If you're watching and tuning in, who's your if you will, who's your favorite? Who's the person that you want to see finish the race up in front and take this? But man, to me, it's too early to tell. I wouldn't want to go out and put any bets on anybody right now.
Well, it's just so much that you have to calculate mentally as far as the times from this morning and everything. I mean, even just who's going to win this race is hard to predict, right? These guys are all just right there, especially after watching the Taho'E, the regular Taho'E,
Sure.
where Brees made that run at the end. I mean, God, if you were to repeat something like this, he could pretty much win, guaranteed.
Yeah, I agree with you. I mean,
I'd like to see somebody try to win both.
Sure,
all in the morning and
afternoon. Yeah, it would be unreal. I do think somebody that can do it is Hititua, who actually obviously won the sprint race, but is well known for being a marathon paddler as well. And I kind of want to see it, because if you kind of go down the list of some of the clubs that these paddlers represent, he represents Maire Nui. And if you've followed paddling over the years, Maire Nui is one of those clubs that was prevalently mentioned over and over, in the 80s, 90s era, and, to the point where those teams were coming. Maire Nui was coming for Molokai and racing, in Hawaiian waters and representing their team. So, I just really appreciated seeing some of these club names on here that are mentioned, which is awesome.
God, look at how tight. It's at least 10 paddlers that are in this
unreal.
top pack, and there is no gap or dominance by a particular leader. And based upon recalculating with this morning's sprint race time being subtracted, or the gap being added, so really, folks, we're up for all of you that are joining us on the Facebook feed. We have our little iPad out here, and we're going to be viewing your comments. And if you guys have questions or comments or somebody that you want to cheer on, go ahead and pops a comment over to us on the Facebook feed at Ocean Paddler, and we'll try to respond to what you guys are talking about. Let's make this broadcast a little more interactive. Again, mahalo to our gang down there at TNTV that are providing us this feed so we can do this live simulcast. But, yep, I heard Troy Parker Bailey. He said, start a clean and sober club. Yep, that's what this is about. No ice. Don't want no ice. We don't got time for that.
Yeah.
We got to get to paddling practice. We don't got time for ice.
Nah, we ain't got time for any of that. Realistically, just being able to see all of these different boats on the water. But here we go. Just really exciting. We're seeing some of those top names were definitely in the sprint race earlier, all a part of that top, including Tuteari'i, Tuatea, Terai Mano, Darren Harbelo was in there, Narai. Vairoa Terai Haroa is just incredible. Definitely what a great brother. Got to spend a lot of time with him. He's a part of the Shell Va'a team and up and coming, a little bit on the younger side. And so him and Keone, both on the younger side, both a part of that Shell team, both have incredible skill sets and, just a lot of time left in the tank here. But that's your top 8 currently. So just kind of interesting to see where this is going to end up. But for those of you tuning in, are there any of you that have any type of questions on boat preferences? But right now, we're just watching an incredible paddling. If you look right now, from first place to about 20th place, they're all within tail to nose. And
yeah, that's the top 16. I tried to count real quickly, roughly 16. I don't know if I'm going to be totally correct, but 16 within just a few. I mean, this looks like a line of elephants.
Yeah,
crossing this.
We're talking seconds between them, and this is the part it's going to be interesting to see. All of these paddlers have had a month to kind of prepare themselves, and Clay, we were talking about that earlier
about
peaking, and which races are these paddlers actually being more intentional towards? I would say this race has become one of the races where everyone can start setting some kind of I would say legacy in the fact that it's pretty new in the circuit of V1 paddling, but a racer built by paddlers for paddlers kind of thing. They are all kind of had that chance to start saying, hey, I was a part of this growth on this race here, Super Taho'E.
Yep. And that's why it's getting this kind of participation. I love the format. I love that it's for paddlers by paddlers, much like what Manny Kulukulu'olani started here with Pa'a Hawaii and continues with the Pa'a Solo. But, golly, what a 180-degree turn, a beautiful afternoon of racing here in Tahiti for the Super Taho'E. We're closing in on the halfway mark of our 30-kilometer race, the second race of the day. We had a sprint race this morning that was about 6 kilometers. And right now they're at the 10-kilometer, 1/3 of the distance through this afternoon's race right now. But that 6-kilometer race this morning, they're going to take those times and how far off the winner each paddler was. They're going to add that much time to their afternoon's time, to the time of this race, and that will determine the overall winner for the Super Taho'E.
Yeah, some of the things that I think we can consider right here is because the conditions have switched, it allowed a lot of these paddlers to kind of probably work less hard, because usually on a downwind surf, there's a constant being on your game and staying on the bump and maintaining and being within reason of one another. This right here, we've got a little bit of texture on the water, not too much difference in conditions for these paddlers. So what they can do is they can start gauging each other and deciding whether or not they want to push on the next paddler, make some moves early, maybe put some pressure on somebody and, maybe break them, but highly unlikely. These paddlers are so trained and their skill sets are so high that I don't think too many of these paddlers really break down in this type of scene.
Yeah, 30 kilometers is maybe not enough distance to break some of these guys, These guys are the best of the best, really.
Yeah, just right here in this little front pack, we've got Brees just ahead, still in third place. Keone Sopes got caught up a little bit. He was leading fourth place, but right here we've got a Timmy Vaugh on the inside, kind of making a move on him. That's what we're talking about. Like, do you start pressing the issue? Do you push the pace here? Knowing that you're 1/3 into the race, they know this place like the back of their hand, right? They're going to be making their way back up to where the starting line was, again, at Point Venus, and, of course, making their way continuously going up the coastline here. But to me, it's just incredible to see how much the difference these paddlers have for the conditions that are coming up to them.
Beautiful paddling. Little pickup there by our leader, Revi Tong Singh, in that red 5 Va'a. He's having a great run at it up front, but not exactly creating a lot of distance between himself and the rest of the pack as they continue almost 16 paddlers deep to just be hot on his heels. That top 4 or 5 paddlers are just right there, Micah, and there's way too much blue out there in front of them to be able to decide who is the leader right now. But incredible performance by all of these Tahitians, and what a great backdrop. Just how idyllic is that coastline, and just looks like a nice countryside of any island just outside of Papaete, though, here in Tahiti. But man, take me back, brother. Take me back.
Let's go. We're going to be we're actually talking about taking people back to Tahiti. We've been into some talks with Stevie and some of the board, and trying to get more of the international paddlers down into Tahiti. Paddling has definitely there's been this surge, I think, with maybe the decade paddlers. I'm talking about your 30s, your 40s, your 50s, kind of pushing that idea to start elevating everyone around the world. And we definitely want to see, more international paddlers going there. So Taho'E, the previous race that we called a month ago, it is open for any international paddler that actually wants to go and participate and be a part of it. So we're trying to work something out where we can take maybe up to 20 paddlers from Hawaii to go and race there next year. So if you're interested in paddling V1 and being in the scene, again, this is all about the growth of our sport, especially here in Hawaii. Paddling is what I always refer to it as our state sport. Some people like to, jump around the whole water thing, but if you want to go and race, let us know. We'll definitely work with Stevie and some of the board members. We definitely want to see more paddlers down in Tahiti. So
and traditionally there has been a lot of strong representation from Hawaii paddlers in other races like the Aito. Spencer Allen went last year. He did really good. Kalaiho goes, and I love to see. Really, there's kind of like a surge in our youth paddlers right now that is just undeniable. Like it's happening on a level where I talk to a lot of the coaches out there that are bringing together these programs and recognizing these young kids, and they're not kind of interested in paddling, bro.
Right.
They're all
about it.
They're all about it. They're all about the cultural part, the fun of being part of a club, all of that. They're all into the training and the racing, and it's really brought our level up in Hawaii, as was evidenced by last weekend's performance by Big Island Junior Va'a. Those are a bunch of kids that are like, a couple of them are still in high school, bro. And they were fastest time overall and nearly won the whole thing first across the line. It
was definitely incredible. And you said it just right then and there. I mean, 3 of those paddlers, most notably Marcus Lizarraga, Spencer Allen, and of course Kalaiho. Those 3 are all V1 paddlers. They've all competed in Tahiti. They all have represented. Marcus actually just won one of the junior races up in Tahiti. Overall, he won it. Spencer and Kalaiho have all. Kalai also won a race, most notably up in Tahiti, and then Spencer almost winning. The Aito, right? So, you got 3, and then they also had Hakatini Huiti, who also came to Hawaii, raced Aloha Aito, is one of those top paddlers. But those 4 boys, just alone kind of sets that standard in Hawaii. So, again, we're just really excited to see the level of growth, and hopefully they stick it out. Hopefully they are that part of the surge in paddling, and hopefully they push other juniors around them to be that. But okay, check this out. We've got 16 paddlers all just battling neck to neck, tail to nose.
Yeah, there's about 16 of them now. Look at that.
This is you don't see this in too many races, but this right now just goes to show you. It looks like it looks like a practice. It looks like a training practice, and all these guys are trying to do is say, you know what? We're gonna go in there. We're gonna battle it to the end, and none of us are gonna give up and slip. None of them. This is insane. This is unreal paddling. This is what we would say top tier. This is why we tune in. This is what we love seeing. I mean, you know, you watch NASCAR. Yeah. You see things like that. I mean, right now we've got all of these guys are drafting each other. Somebody's trying to take the lead. We're seeing exchanges from 1st to 16th. It's just insane.
You don't see this, how this many are this tight. You're absolutely right. And nobody's letting up, but also nobody's getting too excited. They're all still very calm, and look how calm this guy looks.
Yeah, so right here we've got boat number 144, Maruaki, and I'm actually trying to figure out where he was, but Raimana he was currently in 95th, and right now we're looking at him, you know, basically up in the pack, you know, up in the front right now. So just awesome to see right now, just attacking every little section that he can. I mean, just holding and you know, when you talk about paddling, realistically, all they need to do is maintain constant pressure in the water. It's constant, whether it's, you know, a shorter length of stroke or a longer stroke. The main focus right now is that constant pressure that he's applying, staying on the little run that he has, and just maintaining. So this
keeping
right
that
here,
hull speed, basically, right?
Yeah, maintaining the hull speed, using a Va'a Tehuritawa built by Mark Tehuritawa. Traditional rigging here with that rubber rig, but just, man, unreal. You know, to be in the top 100 of any association and any race just tells you what kind of level you're at. So, you know, some people didn't even make this, right? They didn't even get into super.
This is a young man here. He looks young.
Yeah,
at least. And he really he's grinding away for sure. But he looks, at the same time, very relaxed. You saw him. He kind of cleared his breath. He had a big exhale. But he's just breathing up, and he's just enjoying. Kid is doing great out there. And look at CJ. He's still right there in the pack, too, man. He's not letting up. None of these guys.
Yeah, we see a little bit of exchange. It looks like Kyle has entered the chat, if you will.
Yes. Taho'E.
And, like, you know, just, you know, it's just so the dynamic, again, with this race is – one, we saw what happened in the morning race with some of the results, but this is it. I mean, check this out. Every one of these paddlers at this point, you're past a third into the race. You need to be stroke for stroke in order to maintain your position right now. If you cannot stay stroke for stroke and maintain your position, you're going to have to add in a little bit of something else, whether it's endurance, you know, whether it's again, your physicality to maintain, because if you cannot outpower some of these paddlers, you're going to have to really press the envelope the entire time.
And really, you can kind of look across this field of top paddlers. Some of them have a longer stroke with less strokes per minute. Some of them are kind of more on it. You know, they're staying higher rev. But like, look at this paddler in the red. I don't know if that's
Revy. Yep, that's Revy. Yep.
He's just kind of long, big strokes. Look how big his finish is.
Yep.
Look how big his reach is. And then you can look at, you know, the other paddler just next to him in that Timi Va'a. He's kind of staying with a little quicker stroke rate.
Yeah, and right there.
And it all works. It's just, how do you apply it?
Yeah, right there on screen, we've got Kyle Tarafao. Kyle won Taho'E a month ago. He's back in the picture right here. You know, we didn't call his name only up until right now, which means he was somewhere in that top 20, and now he's decided, okay, I'm going to kind of put in a little bit of that presence here. And then, you know, just all of these other paddlers, if you saw that split angle, from the side view, they're like flying. You could just see how fast these boats are moving. From the front view, you can't really see that. These guys are definitely putting on a lot of pressure here and just kind of maintain. Right there we have Tuatea Teraimano from OPT kind of put himself more into that first place position. You know, that OPT team has definitely found a groove over the last couple of years in the sense that, they've, as a team, they've elevated themselves to obviously be winning Haviki Nui, kind of winning races more consistently. And it's not to say Shell or Team Air Tahiti or Enviropool isn't that top team, but we've seen some kind of a pattern recently, and they've seemed to find a way to win. And that's just a testament to looking at the team itself. Even though they're individual paddlers, we've got 4 OPT paddlers in the top 10 right now. So it just kind of shows that they also, on an individual level, are somewhere on the top.
Yeah, obviously they got a culture of excellence going there at OPT, where these guys are kind of pushing each other to excel at every manifestation of this sport. Whether it's 6-man, 9-man, distance, sprints, whatever. These guys are crushing it. And like you said, it's, I think, better when they go multi-discipline but kind of stick together as a team, so to speak. They're pushing each other on at every place. It's not like we one man on our own and we just paddle 6-man together.
No. I think a part of even this race is not only being a part of this race for what it stands for, a bunch of champions in this league, but, just the message, the awareness to bring to the community about, the drug use that's been happening in Tahiti, and just trying to stay away from it. But the culture is still strong, and, they can find better means out there. So just that alone is a great message for our community. But right here, paddler 207, Salmon here, again, just kind of cool to see all of these paddlers across the board and see where they stand. But looking, again, just having a good race. We see all of these paddlers have just that same kind of quality, just clean, fluid,
smooth.
Just smooth, just unreal.
Very, very smooth.
Looks like we're going to be 1 hour into our race, Kalai. Might be a good chance to thank some of our sponsors coming up here. But, man, 1 hour in, Kalai. We're almost halfway through our race here. So, just incredible battles here to watch. So we'll get you guys, updated on all of the paddlers because we've seen some exchanges.
God, look at this.
It's just incredible.
This is your lead pack. That is crazy how many. And look at the guys that are like, just one back from the total leader. They're just kind of finding a little opening in between and then try to come up, do their thing. Man, incredible paddling by this all the racers here at the Super Taho'E. Big mahalos out to Sprite for being the main sponsor here, and big mahalos to TNTV for sharing this feed so we can bring you this Ocean Paddler TV live simulcast. We're going to take a break, and mahalo our sponsors. We'll be right back.
It's the Super Taho'E live simulcast with our friends from TNT TV, brought to you by Are Tahiti. ShopOutrigger.com. Mahalo to TNT TV and the organizers of Super Taho'E. And by Ocean Paddler TV, dedicated to making outrigger canoe paddling a spectator sport. We live for the water, the adventure, the speed, the freedom. But nothing matters more than staying safe out there. That's why we trust Voga Va'a flotation vests. Available now at ShopOutrigger.com.
For me, it's a Ferrari, this canoe. The V1 teaches you a lot. It can be a boat for beginner because when you're beginner, you don't expect nothing from a boat. You will learn with the boat. So the Marara is a boat for everyone. It's a boat who can increase the glide like very high. You can, in 2 or 3 strokes, you can improve like 1 or 2 kilometers. So that's why I love the Marara.
Get yours at ShopOutrigger.com.
Allow us to help you grow your brand and expand your business by reaching Hawaii's giant outdoor sports and ocean enthusiast demographic. Zone Media specializes in social media content production and distribution, drone and video production, cutting-edge live productions, and more. With over 25 years leading Hawaii's action sports market, give us a call to find out how we can help you grow your business.
We live for the water, the adventure, the speed, the freedom. But nothing matters more than staying safe out there. That's why we trust Voga Va'a flotation vests. Available now at shopoutrigger.com. Made with flexible neoprene for comfort, built tough for every condition. Safe, comfortable, and you'll look great too. Because the ocean deserves your best, and so do your loved ones. Voga Va'a flotation vests. Make it home safely. Gear up today at shopoutrigger.com.
All right, welcome back to our live simulcast coverage of the Super Taho'E 2025 from Point Venus, Tahiti. I'm Kalai Miller here with Micah Kalama. We're in studio on Oahu getting this live feed from our friends at TNT TV, Olivier and the boys. And we're just past an hour into this race, which should be just over 2 hours, more or less at the halfway point as they round that spit of land you see in front of them. But this is, believe it or not, a leader pack of 16 paddlers. Is that incredible or what? I can't believe it.
That's incredible.
The level here is just amazing across the board, Micah.
Definitely incredible. I mean, to see this many paddlers all together in one pack like this, not only is we don't really see this in any type of sport. So the fact that we have that many athletes at that type of level and maintaining for basically half the entire race. So we're an hour and a few minutes in. Currently, right now, we've got everyone kind of approaching the point where they started. It's a good opportunity to kind of gauge where you're at. You know, they know they're about halfway done. They just have to go up the coastline, come back around, and finish this race. So we're going to see some of those exchanges. We did see the leader has exchanged in this last maybe 10 minutes 16 times.
Yeah,
you know,
back and forth. The level's all there with these guys. We just saw some of these paddlers, you know, they're continuing to stay on their hydration, stay on their food. That paddler in the green canoe, I'm not sure who that was, but you saw him break and looked like he consumed some sort of gel or some sort of food. They're halfway through. That's probably a point a lot of these guys use, like, okay, right now I got to make sure I eat something. Yeah. But we have our Facebook Live, looking for people tuning in here, as well as our YouTube. You can always watch us as well on Adventure Zone Sports Network. But I'm going to send a shout-out to Namaku Arfauzi. He's always tuning in. I see his name all the time. What's up from Alaska? And then we have Tokota'a Moala. He's Malo Bula Vinaka from Fiji. What's up, brother? Thanks for joining in and watching this live feed of this amazing performances from our men here in the Super Taho'E Senior Men Finals.
Yeah, this is, again, stage 2 of today, and, you know, it's a total of 36 kilometers. This current race, the long distance part, was 30 kilometers. We're 1 hour in. We've got about 1 hour left to go and some change. But, I'm wondering if that was so right there we have Johan Kronstad right here, none other than, of course, a part of, that dynasty of names there, including this paddler right here. It's going to be 237. We'll get you an update on that paddler as well, but it looked like maybe none other than, right there. Yeah, Taho'E right here. So just having their own battle within this race as well. So, some of the things that we're seeing right here is just learning some of the differences. On your screen, there's Timmy Va'a having a good movement right here. Just kind of surged right past Johan, but still some little surf runs coming, looks like back into Point Venus. So, taking advantage of every little boat wake, side wake, a little bit of run off the reef line.
And at this level, that's how you stay competitive.
That's insane.
By taking advantage of every little thing that they get. And check that out. I was just about to bring him up. There's our boy, Tupuria King from Aotearoa, hammer paddler there.
Some FOMO.
Yeah, Tupu, what's up, bro?
Yes,
he's getting FOMO, fear of missing out.
Oh, man.
Bro, where you at? Where you at, my man?
Yeah.
I just watched a little video of him babying his one man into
Oh,
the
yeah,
garage.
yeah,
at
the
his
garage,
house.
putting it
his
up.
V1 was hilarious, bro.
Yeah, that was
that was classic. Yep. We just had Taho'E Moala joining us from Fiji, but yeah, funny to watch Tupu like.
Hey man,
I'd
like that with my boats too. You know, just that was
Hey.
such a cool little shot.
Hey.
Turn off the light. You know, that's baby.
That was
right
kind
there.
of cool. I like the way he kind of had it at a 45 long angle.
Just
on
to
his
fit
feet.
inside. You know, I got to take care. But
We're watching you, brother, and we're always enjoying what you hammers down there in Aotearoa are coming up with. But thanks for tuning in and give our alohas to everybody there in New Zealand.
yes, yeah. So right there, yeah. Ale, woo woo, Kevin. You know, stay focused. And Kevin's having a really good race. You know, right now. Definitely, this is kind of really cool to see. Everybody's gonna get kind of that visual effect right here as they are running the shoreline of Point Venus. Cool chance to have somebody come out, run out some new water packs to you, maybe give you a gel pack, or something to kind of fill you up, because again, we got another hour to go. And these are things that we talk about. How do you fuel yourself? So if you guys are tuning in, and you guys are watching, and you race, kind of curious, what are you guys taking? Some people that I know take some hammer gel, some liquid packs,
Because I used to race with this one Kanaka.
Yeah.
He would take the big bag of poi. Yeah. He'd take the big bag of poi. He'd open up 2 cans of sardines.
Yeah.
Throw it inside the poi.
Mix them.
Load me that thing up. Then right after the race started, and when he's ready for his first bite of something, he would
tear the corner.
Tear the corner.
Yeah.
And he would squeeze.
Yep.
And you think about it,
It's
right?
great.
It's poi, right? So
Yep.
good carbs.
Yep.
It's got a good protein profile. He added the sardines, which is more
Salt.
protein and
Yep.
salt, right? I was like, Hawaiian genius, bro. But that is the old school way
so
across the channel, bro.
If you guys were following on the Queen's race, for example, I had a little packet that had some dry aku some dry ai. So
sometimes
definitely-
longer into the race, I really just want
Something.
like something cold and sweet, like a fruit cup, bro. In a long race, just a fruit cup is like, just kind of kills that dry saltiness out of your mouth. I love that.
It's
but the old and my man Pat Vaughn is always
Pat.
okay, you doing the Molokai Hoi, right?
Yep.
Bah, you hit Hawaii Kai, it's a king size Snickers and a flat Coke.
Flat
bro.
Coke.
That'll get you there, bro. A flat Coke will get you there.
It was funny. I mean, hearing that from like my dad, them, and talking about some of the stuff they did in the channel, and there's the secret sauce or whatever it might be. But back then, they said that to use just cracking a Coke, and they found out later because saw a trail of Coke cans,
Caffeine and sugar.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah. So just funny to hear some of those things.
Yeah.
But
I remember one year I was escorting Manutea Owen, and in front of us was Travis Grant, and the escort board pulled up and handed him something, and his wife had made him a smoothie with dates and stuff like that, mangoes.
Yep.
He pounded that and he was gone.
Wow.
I was like, wow, what was in that thing?
That's classic.
Yeah, Kevin Jerusalem, he's got a fan, and Clayson Roberto.
Yeah,
Look at that. Golly, what a beautiful place to paddle.
So here we are. We just rounded Point Venus. We're heading up the coastline here. I mean, kind of check this out. This is your course map. Some of the greatest things that we're getting now that technology has grown is, check this out. We're getting the live spot here. We just hit just over 13 kilometers. We made our way. We're actually at 14 kilometers. So basically exactly about halfway here. So again, just kind of gauging, and then we got another 14 kilometers to go. So, just everybody that's watching, the red is where they've completed. They've got the yellow left to go, just like this figure 8 kind of deal.
What is your feeling about that? Is that leg back to the finish line that we're going to see in this second half?
Mm-hmm.
Do you feel like it's got enough angle with the swell direction to really be surfable, or is it just going to be kind of irritating and from the side?
So I've been there, a few times. I've actually been at that point, just kind of checked it out. I actually wasn't fortunate enough to paddle out this way, more upwards up this coastline. So, I couldn't really tell you exactly what that channel is going to do. But as far as the front half, I've actually been able to paddle in those waters, and that little downwind section is super fun. But this I haven't, so I would say we're still going to get a little bit of something. But it looks like the conditions, because it looks like the wind dropped off a little bit as well. Maybe with that squall, we're seeing, again, that passing of any type of storm. We always get that back half of the storm where the winds switch, and you actually kind of drowns it out. So realistically, I think right now it's just the grind. It's 1 hour of, staying on, grinding it out, try to get placement at this point.
Yeah, as I love to quote Danny Ching, and he talked about the conditions on a Molokai solo one year, and it wasn't that great. It was kind of flat, and he said it's just going to be a battle of the tough guys.
Oh yeah, yeah.
But the problem is you got 16 tough guys up there.
Yeah, all tough.
We got a lot of Kevin Saran Jerusalem fans out there, everywhere from Aotearoa to Brazil,
yeah, you gotta love
Hawaii and Tahiti. A lot of them are really tuning in and cheering on Kevin. That guy's got a certain magnitude about him that just makes you want to love him.
Yeah, Kevin is somebody we've watched kind of grow into. Obviously, he's won so many races, and he's such a good person. He's done some clinics. We've gone to a few clinics down in Tahiti where he was kind of doing some stuff. But we were lucky enough to have him race in the Aloha Aito, and come in third place recently, and just be a part of the growth across the world. So, just a big mahalo for him, as well as many of these other Tahitian paddlers in this top level as well, which is incredible. But
it looks like Kevin's got a lot of fans down in Brazil. A lot of our Portuguese brothers and sisters tuning on there from southern America continent. But, they just finished up the world distance race down there, and everybody talked about how fun it was. But the comment I had across the board from race organizers to racers to all these people was, brah, watch out. Those Brazilians are into paddling, and the sport is growing at a
exponential
rate down there. They have, what was it, like 300 clubs or something down there? It's incredible.
No, it's
and those
insane.
people are athletic, bro.
Yeah.
They love the ocean. They can practice all year long. It's not like you're in Canada where it freezes over half the year.
Right.
These guys are going to go at it, and they're going to adopt to this thing quickly. Watch out, bro. The Brazilians are coming, and I can feel it.
I mean, we've seen a couple of the junior paddlers. Luan Reese, he just recently, was down there competing, and for I believe it was the last Aito, did extremely well. But also, they've been competing in the International Vault Federation, and they've definitely been winning. It was most recently in Brazil. So, of course, to see the level of paddling raised as fast as it did from Brazil is just incredible.
Yeah, really, you can almost go anywhere where there's a temperate climate and you're coastal, and you're going to find outrigger paddling nowadays. This sport is really catching on, and to me, this is one of the foundational elements of making great paddlers is the V1.
Yeah, 100%. The V1, I'm always gonna be biased to it because I think it can teach you the most. We've had this conversation a few times on what the V1 can do for you. It's not like any other vessel out there, and again, it's teaching you all types of things, but most consistently, obviously, if everyone can do this in a V1, whether it's learning the conditions or the elements, it doesn't restrict you in ways that maybe an OC1 does or a surf ski might do with the rudder and things. This is the best tool to get on to advance your paddling as fast as you can.
Right, and you think about it. Before, it was only like your coach is going to teach you or other older members of your club. But now you have things like the internet that you can log on. You can just watch a race like this and try to copy what the best guys in the world are doing.
Sure.
It might be as simple as that. And there's a lot of like little videos and techniques. I was watching some today that were in Portuguese, guys in Brazil teaching paddling. I was like, this is it. But what's neat about the V1 is that that's your paddling and the canoe is teaching you.
Yep.
That's what's so cool. Now the canoe becomes the teacher.
Yeah, when people, you hear that kind of across the board. You hear that from, people like Christian Marston, maybe even, obviously like my dad teaching that to a lot of our paddlers, as well as Manutea Owens.
Yes.
You know, a lot of them are telling you the va'a is going to teach you things that, you know, that they can't really explain to you, which is true. Until you get on a V1, you won't really know that, or it'll sound so much like a cliche that all of a sudden it like clicks.
Right, and sometimes when you're in the V6, you can do the same sort of thing that you would in V1, but you're not going to have the feedback loop because there's 5 other guys that are affecting how that canoe is moving, right?
Sure.
But when you can hone in on the fact that, this little way I hold my paddle, or if I press a little differently here, it's going to help the way it moves or the way it goes left and right. When you start to incorporate that into your game, and then you bring that game to the V6, and you got 5 other guys that are doing it, that's part of why these stations are so fast.
Yep. The reaction time that they spend is a lot quicker than anybody else, in a sense that they're doing that. The cool thing is, right now we're about halfway done into this race, and we're seeing again an iconic spot, Point Venus being the starting and finishing point of this race. Looks like we might take a quick commercial break to go thank our sponsors, but we'll get you back to the update on the leader.
Top 16 right there.
Still sticking strong to it. Again, looks like we got either Tilmana up there as well as Kyle. Revi Tong Sing still holding on tight there. Looks like none other than Brees hanging on, Keone Solpis, and so forth. So we'll get all your tops, but at this point, we're going to go ahead and take a commercial break. Thank our sponsors.
Yeah, we'll be right back with the second half of the Super Taho'E from Tahiti. It's the Super Taho'E live simulcast with our friends from TNT TV, brought to you by Are Tahiti. ShopOutrigger.com. Mahalo to TNT TV and the organizers of Super Taho'E. And by Ocean Paddler TV, dedicated to making outrigger canoe paddling a spectator sport. We live for the water, the adventure, the speed, the freedom. But nothing matters more than staying safe out there. That's why we trust Voga Va'a flotation vests. Available now at shopoutrigger.com.
For me, it's a Ferrari, this canoe. The V1 teaches you a lot. It can be a boat for beginner because when you're beginner, you don't expect nothing from a boat. You will learn with the boat. So the Marara is a boat for everyone. It's a boat who can increase the glide like very high. You can, in 2 or 3 strokes, you can improve like 1 or 2 kilometers. So that's why I love the Marara.
Get yours at shopoutrigger.com.
Allow us to help you grow your brand and expand your business by reaching Hawaii's giant outdoor sports and ocean enthusiast demographic. Zone Media specializes in social media content production and distribution, drone and video production, cutting-edge live productions, and more. With over 25 years leading Hawaii's action sports market, give us a call to find out how we can help you grow your business.
We live for the water, the adventure, the speed, the freedom. But nothing matters more than staying safe out there. That's why we trust Voga Va'a flotation vests. Available now at shopoutrigger.com. Made with flexible neoprene for comfort, built tough for every condition. Safe, comfortable, and you'll look great too. Because the ocean deserves your best, and so do your loved ones. Voga Va'a flotation vests. Make it home safely. Gear up today at shopoutrigger.com.
All right, we're checking in on our iPad here where we're live with our folks on YouTube, watching this feed of our coverage, our simulcast of the Super Taho'E here 2025. Mahalo to TNTV. I'm Kala'i Miller. That's my name, right? Miller? Right? Yeah, Miller. With my man over here, Micah, right? Kalama, right? Kalama, we're here together. And we were talking earlier about Brazil, now paddlings and going there. And there's Jesse Lima. He's tuning in from Brazil. And he says, once you get over 25 kilometers on your V1, life changes. And you're right. You're right. Once you're like, wow, this thing really just, and I guess the word I would use was slips through the water.
Sure.
You know, once you really can just make it just slide through the water and catching these little bumps, man, it is something else. And speaking about something else, look at the action here from our racers in the Super Taho'E. This is, of course, our leader pack. We have about 16 paddlers vying for the lead. And look at these guys go. Amazing stuff. A little bit rougher conditions around the corner.
Yeah, we see it. We see right there. We see the conditions. There's a little bit more of that bump. I think this is, again, open water coastline. As we saw the mapping earlier, we can see that coastline ran pretty far up. And it does look like that's kind of more of your open water kind of feel. Maybe not so much as a slabby area for like a reef run, but just a lot of energy. So this is these things that certain paddlers thrive on, right, is being able to apply pressure differently while you got swell hitting you head on. I do think coming back home, it looks like they're going to have a little bit more of that downwind style. So I'm excited to see where this is going to go.
Beautiful racing from these guys. And even with these conditions, just flying, bro. Just flying and doing it effortlessly.
I love that. We see Go Kyle Lekozen Tautira. Tautira has got a lot of legendary names and families down there, and kind of like that. If you were to talk about a pinnacle of a place, Tautira is definitely one of those places.
Yeah, they were some of the paddlers that way back in the day shared their styles with Hawaiian paddlers and really kind of helped create a paddling renaissance here in the islands.
Yeah, I mean, when you think about all of the relationships over time, with the Tahitians and the Hawaiians, and likewise across the world, but there is a special bond between that Polynesian side, I would say, with the Tahitians and Hawaiians, with canoe builders and exchanging of paddling technique and style. And, you really think about competitive racing. It's still relatively new, really, when you think of the amount of years put in. It's not like some of your other sports because, we all know in Hawaii a lot of it came off of not just paddling, more on the whole canoe fishing side and continue even voyaging. But as far as racing a canoe, a little bit more, I would say, more new in that sense.
Yeah, it's not something we did traditionally, but it's a traditional thing that we've brought into a modern era.
Yeah, it's unreal. And, now we get to enjoy the amount of athletes out there on the water, putting 2 hours plus in time, and just to see who's going to come out on front. It's just incredible.
Look at these guys, bro. They are grinding away.
You can see the conditions have definitely changed. Like you look at this aerial shot, it kind of looks like nothing until you kind of get on the level of the paddler. There's a lot of things happening out there on the water. So really cool drone footage. TNT TV always bringing us some of the best coverages across the world, but especially for paddling. We're lucky to do this simulcast here in the Ocean Paddler studio on Oahu. And right now, we're going to just keep following this leader pack, it looks like.
And Michael, how about while we're following this leader pack, let's kind of give the folks that may have just tuned in now a little bit of a recap about the idea of how today's determination of our winner of the Super Taho'E is actually dependent on 2 races.
Yeah, so the Super Taho'E is, again, it's its own race, but there was 2 stages to today's race. Earlier this morning, the paddlers did about a 3-mile race, a 30-minute sprint, if you will. So their first race was just like a loop from Point Vitas and back, or I believe it was actually from up down, and it was just 5 paddlers at a time, and they would just race up, and you would get timed. So 3-mile race, get your time. That's where you start off today.
Right.
So with that, now they're doing the long marathon part of the race, which is 30 kilometers. So you'll combine both the first race and this second race, and that's your overall time score. So again, anybody's race, anybody can win this thing.
Is there somewhere where folks can check out the times from the earlier race? Where would they be able to go to see that?
Yeah, you could actually go. A lot of the websites are under Facebook. As far as you could go to Save VA and pull it up. You can actually Google request it. It'll come right up, and you'll actually see these times. You can follow them on Instagram. Many of the paddlers have been posting all of their results throughout. So if you follow any of these paddlers, I'm sure it's on their Instagram or their Facebook. But currently on screen, none other than Manu Taho'E, just an incredible paddler. So let's maybe hear what he has to say.
J'ai vu, il y avait déjà un écart, donc j'ai su que c'était un peu cramé, quoi. Je savais que c'est pas dans la remontée que j'allais les rattraper, c'est pas mon point fort. Après, on entend de travailler aussi sur la Venom là toujours et on essaie de l'améliorer. Je pense qu'elle va être de mieux en mieux. Donc j'apprends à la connaître aussi, à me perfectionner avec. Mais sinon, voilà, c'était top, j'étais content. Je surfe bien avec, mais il n'y avait pas assez de surf à l'aller. Le vent a commencé à monter, après la remontée là au retour, il fallait serrer les dents. Et je savais que les premiers qui allaient tourner au Moto Martin, c'est eux qui allaient tracer dans le surf. Donc j'avais déjà un écart au Moto Martin. Bon, j'étais quatrième. Après, quand j'ai vu que Pops, il lâchait, je me suis dit ok. Peut-être que la porte s'ouvre au moins pour le podium. Donc voilà, Marou, t'es à toi, Marou, ma petite famille qui me soutient parce que j'ai la poterie, la vanille, il y a plein de choses qui se passent à Hawaii. On s'accroche, quoi, hein, c'est bon pour la santé, donc on est là.
Tu peux me dire justement là, again, that's Manu Taho'E there. He's from Huahine, one of the top V1 paddlers of his time, a fantastic OC6 steersman, a guy who actually his father is American. His mother is Tahitian, and he speaking there in French. But one of the guys that's really been a good interface between Hawaii and Tahitian paddling because his mastery of the English language as well as Tahitian and French, right?
Yeah, really good paddler, good coach, good person to be around.
Yeah, good fun.
Always uplifting everyone. Yes. His son is up and coming, Heitini, just incredible paddler as well. Probably, if not your top junior coming out of Tahiti. Just really awesome to see the growth again in the family legacies and the names just continues on. But right here, we're getting a little bit of that double screen here. We've got the drone footage here of your left. This is, again, the second part of that, a part of that 30-kilometer race. And we did see a pretty big separation now. We don't see all 16 paddlers bunched up.
Now, yeah.
It's kind of dropping one at a time. And again, it's kind of the conditions. As we've seen in the drone, it didn't look like much. But as we come to eye level, we're starting to see, again, that 1 to 3 meter kind of swell differential. Like it's actually hitting them on the side. So, staying on your game as well. These paddlers are all absolutely, elite. But you never know. You get those rogue little bumps and those little chops that kind of throw you off of your game a little bit if you're, again, not dialed in. But, man, Kyle right now is absolutely dialed in, just leading everything. He's ranked number 1 right now. Hey, Moki Foster Molina, what's up? Yeah, definitely clinics. This is a clinic right now.
Look how comfortable he is in his side conditions. And honestly, folks, these... we're showing you some of the best in the world. They're going to make it all look easy. But this would give a less experienced paddler a lot of headache and heartache. Just
for sure.
It's kind of coming at you from the direction that's not optimal. And, part of what gives these guys the ability to get through this is the fitness level and the drive of their paddling. This vessel can be maybe considered to be less affected by this kind of side chop when it has a little bit more drive going forward. So if you're paddling, you getting the boat really moving forward, it's not as much that it's affected by all this side chop. And this would be throwing a lot of people off, but these guys just make it look like another day at work.
Yeah, no, I definitely could say the same. I think watching this kind of gives me that sense of why you need to throw yourselves into certain conditions. You need to experience this in order to get comfortable. Just like anything, you can start off on the inside, in the flats, and then stay in the flats and go when it's completely a windy condition, so it's still relatively safer, and it gives you a chance to experience that type of condition. Then start getting outside of the flat bays and start going into small channels, and that's the growth that needs to happen for any paddler. And just like any of these paddlers, they're going to tell you the same thing. A lot of times they started relatively in the inside, not only till recently over the last handful of decades, where challenging yourself across channels to really put yourself on a level apart from everyone else is why we have levels, novice entries or amateurs or beginners, and then you kind of work your way up into the open, and then eventually you become a master, if you will, but doesn't mean you ever master the conditions. So right here, I mean, we're just seeing again, we seen the comment from Moki, just clinic. This is what they're ready for. This is what they train for.
And that's the long version. The short version is the Cliff Notes is, man, wind or chop from the side freaking sucks.
Yeah, sucks.
It sucks in a V1.
And it's constant work. It's constant applying yourself and correcting yourself every stroke. But here on screen, on the drone, it almost looks like not too much. And all of a sudden, we get down onto their eye level, like we said earlier. You can see there's that kind of crosswind and that cross swell. It's hitting them pretty close to parallel. It's like kind of more on that 50-degree angle. It's kind of like hitting just the side of the AMA, almost on the corner, and then ripping right through the hull. So, again, they're going to be dealing with this all the way up until they turn around. And then coming back, I think it's going to be kind of fun. You're going to have a little bit of, again, that little bit of downwind swell. Actually, you're going to almost have it directly behind you, which is going to be good for them.
And so this is really going to see like what kind of course lines these guys take coming back, because a nice wide turn where they're coming back more on the outside might be a bit of an advantage. Who can work out to position themselves in an area coming into that finish line where they really are kind of able to use this and surfing downhill a little bit more?
Yeah, I'm actually really kind of loving this type of paddling here because, again, it just goes to show conditions do separate even the best of the best. We had 16 paddlers kind of grouped up. At one point, we saw almost 7 paddlers directly across from each other. And right now, we've seen now back into that train kind of style, following the tail of the canoe in front. Maybe not really finding your own lane. Everyone is kind of playing follow the leader. On the right side, just on your screen, just kind of watching some of these interviews. We got Vaimiti Maoni there on screen, coach for Ihilani, also a president for them. She just had a race not too long ago, a really good advocate for the women paddlers, has a really strong relationship with Hawaii paddlers. And, for all the women that are watching, get out, get on the V1, go compete. And Natiahi Sommer, just incredible young paddler. She's, I think, only 17 and just absolutely dominates in the V1. And
look at her. I mean, she's not a particularly imposing physical specimen, But neither is somebody like Lauren Spalding. She's not the biggest, most muscular girl in her canoe. But, man, does she know the water? Is she tenacious, and she knows how to paddle?
Yeah, we gotta love that. And just for me, it's just always definitely the community. Paddling is not just just one for one person. It's for everybody across the board. But as far as the women, they're definitely bringing the level up. But I will say, Hawaii women have definitely put on some really incredible races in Tahiti. Most recently, I think both 2 of our Hawaii crews coming in the top 3 in the Hawaii Nui, absolutely dominated down in Tahiti. So just love seeing that. And but just here on screen, I'm assuming they're definitely talking a little bit more about what they're up to and what they've been doing. So
a lot of development going on there with paddling. Again, you're going to see at the bottom of your screen, this is your 3 ways to log on to the Adventure Zone Sports Network that we have here with our family at Ocean Paddler. You can check it out on either Amazon, Roku, or Apple TV, and you can click, get your phone out and look on one of those QR codes, and you'll find it, and you'll go straight to Adventure Zone Sports Network, where you can watch almost all of our repeats of our live coverage coming up. But again, we're down to the top 7 paddlers here, all in line, making their way to the final turn, where they'll be getting that last quarter, of this race back towards the finish line at Point Venice. But not ideal, a little bit in their face right now, but we'll see who's able to make use of these conditions on the way back to that finish line. Hour and a half plus into this race, and the best of the best starting to single themselves out towards the lead of this. Who can hang on? Who can compete? Kyle Taho'E looked like he's having a heck of a day out there, really.
Yeah, just, Kyle's definitely one of the strong ones. I think a lot of people came in thinking he definitely would probably be out in that leader pack and he can win it. He is the captain for Team Air Tahiti. Absolutely has been kind of dominating a lot of the V1 races recently. But, man, just having a good race right now. On your right-hand side, looks like we've seen a little bit more of those other paddlers that were a part of that front pack, but they're kind of more in your little bit dropping back just a little bit. Boat 369 there on your screen. Looks like Taho'E Tahio is also a part of that. I think that bigger pack that just kind of started making their way into all of that surf line, the headwinds. So this is going to be interesting because they started to separate. Looks like he took a little bit further outside track, and there's more of your paddlers on the inside. So conditions definitely dictating the rest of this race. And again, that 1 minute probably won't mean much if Kyle can, absolutely just dominate on this back half of maybe this last 40 minutes of the race.
Correct, but it seems like guys like Brees and Keone are still holding on.
Well, so Keone right now is currently battling for third place. We see Keone. He has the Taho'E towel with the black nose, white hull, and he's definitely in the running to actually win this entire race.
Sopis.
Yeah.
All right, real quick, you can see on screen a recap of where our paddlers are right now. Kyle Taho'E in first, Iorama Teahu in second, Tuatea Terayamano in third, Keone Sopis in fourth, Brees Punua Ta'ahitua in fifth, Tereaiari'i Hamlin in sixth, Revi Tongsin in seventh, and Tupari'i Tamai Tahio. Sorry,
you're getting there
on that one. These are not easy. But yeah, and when we compare where they are in the lead here to how much the differential is, they're going to have to battle based upon this morning's sprint race. Shucks, I don't know. It could still be, guys like.
So it looks like second place, which is Teahu Iorama. He actually is. If you have to look at the time differential right now, he's actually going to be winning this entire Taho'E race right now. And then second place would be most likely at that point Keone Sopis. We still got a lot of time to go, but those would be your first and second right now. If we were to gauge all of the numbers, we could say that those two are potentially the guys who are going to win this race. If they can just maintain this for the remainder of the race and stay within that time differential, I think that's going to be a potential result. I'm going to go out on a limb. Yeah, I'll go out on a limb. I think Keone Sopis is having an unreal race.
Yeah, he is.
Young athlete, got a lot of potential. He's definitely developed himself over the last year and a half with Shell. His strength has definitely increased. I know he definitely went through a small challenge as one of the Havikinuis. He cramped up leg 3, and kind of maybe just it could have been anything, right? You got 3 races that you do back to back to back. You cramp up, your body doesn't maintain. So not only are you pushing your limits, you got to find ways to get yourself back in health and be able to perform at this level again. So big props to Keone as really good person, good athlete. Just like seeing that success that he's having.
what a performance by all of these paddlers. But it sure makes for an interesting race format to see how all those times from this morning are going to really play out into who's going to be our overall champion, because that's the race that really matters. Who is the overall champion?
Yeah, we just seen Raimana Vernadon just say, go Keith. Keith Vernadon spent some time here in Hawaii, paddled with Outrigger for a little bit, and or Kalahui Kai, I believe, and just been able to hang out with Keith a handful of times and just watch his growth. And Keith is a part of the OPT team, came second earlier in the first leg. Definitely is up here in this top part of the pack. So really cool, again, to have all those relationships with people and kind of get to know them over this last few years and, see them. His performance levels have definitely increased over the year. But to be a part of an unreal program like Team OPT, I see all his posts. He trains extremely hard. So big props to Keith. Definitely wishing him the best in today's race as well. So cool. There's a lot of volunteers. A lot of these volunteers are wives or girlfriends of some of your paddlers, and just their moms. They have their kids racing, and just the fact that they show up to support and volunteer, and just continuously give the opportunity to all these paddlers. We love that, because here in Hawaii we've got a really big commitment for if you're a part of paddling, whether you get paid for it or not. It's just a lot of times it's just the love for the sport and the person you're supporting. But there you have it. You've got some of your volunteers.
Yeah, paddling is life, and it's for a lot of these people, it's what their family does.
Yeah.
You marry a guy that's a paddler at this level, and that's just what the family does. That's probably the family that he came from does that. It's part of what made him so good. That's why guys like, George Kronstedt and Manutea Owen have these kids that are top-level junior paddlers coming up, because that's what their family does, and you get these family legacy, these like dynasties that you do out there, like the Amins and the Moanis, and these kind of people. It's kind of like the Kalamas here in Hawaii, or the Paiainas and families like that. So it's no surprise where it all comes from.
Yeah.
But it takes a lot of time, effort, and really, just focusing on, like, that's what our family does. Yeah. And as you can see, a lot of these volunteers that are being interviewed here, they all have on their shirts that no ice sticker. And again, this is part of their answer to finding a healthy way to combat the ice epidemic there in Tahiti that's going on, which notably is affecting not only younger folks, but some older folks as well. And so, really, whether it's a preventative thing or people in recovery, one of the best things you can do to get off of drugs is get out, be active, get in the ocean, and perpetuate your culture.
Yeah, I think a lot of it too is nobody's really calling anybody out on it, and talking about it. So it's a perfect time to bring awareness that it does exist, it's out there, and look after your kids, look after friends.
Hey, watch
and
your
family.
kids.
Yeah, make sure you're not running around too late at night. Just stuff that's happening, and life is happening, but there's better things out there in this world. So, but right here,
like V1
like
paddling.
V1 paddling. I mean, just incredible. I mean, we see this, and again, Kalei, the conditions, definitely a little bit of a challenge for sure. You got a swell hitting head on for these paddlers. Again, navigating all through this, it definitely adds to the character of the race for sure.
Have you noticed in the background how long this seawall are?
Yeah, it's forever.
There's all of these blocks, and it's been going on for like kilometers.
Yeah.
This
all these
blocks along the seawall.
Yeah,
it looks
concrete
like it might be ending
jacks.
right there.
Yeah.
At that rock. As I talk,
Yeah.
oh no, keep on going.
Yeah, keep
There's
going.
more blocks.
It's like these concrete jacks. I think it's again protecting that coastline. It looks like the swell hits pretty close to that road line. Maybe preventative measures there for them, but. Man, I mean, that's, like you said, it's forever and a day. It just keeps going. But right here on screen, we see a good battle here between this white and blue phi and the green and yellow phi on the inside. And that's the thing about race is there's a lot of races within the race. Could be battling, somebody that you've been trying to beat for a while, especially in the top, 100. And the fact that, again, these are the best of the best. This is what this race was designed to do. It was to put all of your top 105 paddlers out there and say who's the best individually. But again, they're representing not only their club name, their family name, but just paddling in general. That's what they came out to represent. And it's just, we're so lucky to watch this race and be a part of it. This is your Super Taho'E 2025, brought to you by TNT TV with the simulcast with Ocean Paddler TV. It's our way of always being tuned in to the paddling world and sharing it with everyone across, internationally, especially because nowadays the language barriers is definitely a challenge, and
yes.
And we just love being a part of it, and we got the opportunity to again see this race and bring it to you live. So super excited.
All right, while they work their way towards the next turn, coming into that final leg down towards the finish line, we're going to take a quick commercial break to thank our sponsors. We'll be right back.
It's the Super Taho'E live simulcast with our friends from TNT TV, brought to you by Are Tahiti. ShopOutrigger.com. Mahalo to TNT TV and the organizers of Super Taho'E. And by Ocean Paddler TV, dedicated to making outrigger canoe paddling a spectator sport. We live for the water, the adventure, the speed, the freedom. But nothing matters more than staying safe out there. That's why we trust Voga Va'a flotation vests. Available now at ShopOutrigger.com.
For me, it's a Ferrari, this canoe. The V1 teaches you a lot. It can be a boat for beginner because when you're beginner, you don't expect nothing from a boat. You will learn with the boat. So the Marara is a boat for everyone. It's a boat who can increase the glide like very high. You can, in 2 or 3 strokes, you can improve like 1 or 2 kilometers. So that's why I love the Marara.
Get yours at ShopOutrigger.com.
Allow us to help you grow your brand and expand your business by reaching Hawaii's giant outdoor sports and ocean enthusiast demographic. Zone Media specializes in social media content production and distribution, drone and video production, cutting-edge live productions, and more. With over 25 years leading Hawaii's action sports market, give us a call to find out how we can help you grow your business.
We live for the water, the adventure, the speed, the freedom. But nothing matters more than staying safe out there. That's why we trust Voga Va'a flotation vests. Available now at ShopOutrigger.com. Made with flexible neoprene for comfort, built tough for every condition. Safe, comfortable, and you'll look great too. Because the ocean deserves your best, and so do your loved ones. Voga Va'a flotation vests. Make it home safely. Gear up today at ShopOutrigger.com.
All right, we're back live in the studio here with our simulcast of the 2025 Taho'E Va'a Super Taho'E from Tahiti. Thanks to TNT TV. I'm Kalai Miller here with my main man, Micah Kalama, and we are enjoying this race. We're more than halfway through, almost to the 3/4 point, pretty much, of this 30-kilometer race. Some exciting stuff, and I'm really looking forward to see how this line, our leader pack, continues to dwindle. It was 16, then it was like 10, then it was like 7. I'd love to see some drone shots of this, but just kind of watching who's gonna emerge and who's gonna drop back.
Yeah, I think we've been seeing a little bit of that differences with the challenges of the condition. Right now, we've got that back part of so they've rounded Venus Point. They're kind of running that back section, if you will, and they have one more turn to go before they kind of head back on a downwind. So it'll be interesting to see if there's going to be any changes. We did see Kyle as well as a couple of others, notable names like Keone Salpis up front, as well as I believe it's going to be a couple of those OPT paddlers that were kind of leading those packs, all within reason to actually win this race, even if Kyle comes first. So it's just going to be, again, interesting to see if the conditions play a factor in it. So I'm excited. I'm excited to see what happens.
Yeah, with V1 paddling, conditions always play a factor, right, buddy? It's really a matter of how much of a factor it's going to be. But on your right, you're going to see that's the overall course. We're getting ready to make that final turn at Baie Papeno, right?
Yep. Yeah,
Pampino.
So if you look at it, it's like a figure 8. So they're going to head all the way up. Right there's that green Sprite buoy
yep.
there. That's the last turn before they head back to Point Venus. So this is it. This is your last part of the stretch. Again, we were looking at about a 2-hour time limit. It looks like we're going to just get just over that. Maybe I would say closer to that 2:15, maybe less, because not that much left to go. But we see this battle right now. Looks like Iorama Taho'E from Toa Mak, and having a good race here. Currently was in second place, but is battling Kyle for this back half right here. So this is that downwind section we were talking about.
Oh, they are using it. Look at it. Oh,
he's
yes.
Flying. Kyle is smoking on that one.
Dang, that boy good.
Yeah, so this is what we were talking about. This is it. Oh, we got a Team Rillo in the house.
Yeah, Team Rillo. I love it. Olo from Alaska.
Yeah, it looks like Rillo was they just were at Catalina. I was just watching. It looked like Celeste, Rillo, Dante guys. They were all racing Catalina. I think they came in maybe top 4 in the women's, but obviously first probably in the overall for the vets or the masters. But we're getting a lot of shout outs for Keone, also Rama there as well. So, yep, this is it. Check out this foil on the inside. That's obviously it's a downwind section that a lot of them like to go. So we just see a foil, stand-up foiler right on the inside. So Kyle looks like he's having a smoking run coming back home. Man, this is it looks like, again, this might be also in Kyle's realm. He's a strong paddler, known to be pretty aggressive, and will put it all out there. I mean, he has to make a gap differential right now. He's got a lot of time he has to make up, but right now in second place we've got Iorama Taho'E right there. Currently is actually going to be your leader of this entire race, because he's got a pretty big gap between him and Kyle as far as the time frame.
So this morning's race, the earlier race.
Yep.
Yeah,
so this will be interesting. He's got probably about 30 seconds. It looks like 30. Yeah, it looks like exactly 30 seconds.
So he could be 30 seconds behind Kyle
and still win. Yeah. So right now this is currently your first and second place winners, potential winners right here on your screen.
And it doesn't seem that Kyle would be able to put 30 seconds on him between the finish, just based upon the performance up to now in this race.
Yeah, I think there's not enough real estate left, not enough race left to be had where you're going to outrun somebody like Iorama right now, because he's had a great race. He's been in this top pack for the entire time, hasn't let Kyle create any separation, but Kyle is trying to take advantage of whatever bumps are out there, and he is surfing pretty well on the inside, but I don't think there's enough surf to create that separation. I think we're still going to come down to within a few seconds.
I'd like to see who these other few guys are back here as well, just to see where their time differentials lay out. Do you know what place overall this morning our second place paddler finished, and how far from the top he was?
Our second place?
Yeah.
So Iorama was actually, he's the leader. He was only in 8th place overall.
How many seconds back from the winner?
He was no more than... So he was no more than 21 seconds back from the winner. So, you know, the interesting play out right now is even though he's in 8th place, if for some reason Taho'E Ho'atua beats him by, or loses by 5 seconds, he'll win this race. So it's just so many dynamics. I mean, it's just so cool because it really did that 3-mile sprint.
Oh, bro, it's just way too much math.
Yeah, you know, and I hate to say it. I mean, we went to a really good school, but my brain is like kind of frying right now. I'm trying to like give everybody this insight.
Have AI do it for me.
Yeah, but you know what? I mean, really, when you think of it, it's just this is the part of paddling that we really love to see. I mean, you can see right here, I mean, the weather looks awesome. There is great conditions for these paddlers to take advantage of downwinds, a little bit of that bump and chop, some small wind, and, you know, it's just enough to create the race of a champion. You know, it's got everything, and that's so great to see, and I think that's what every racer wants to be a part of. We want a little bit of everything. We want the challenge. And they're getting it for sure.
Yeah, a little bit of everything. That's the way to go.
Again, we were sticking kind of with that front pack. Check out this foiler, just taking advantage of all these bumps. I mean, I've tried a little bit of this stand-up foiling. I absolutely suck, but I got a lot of great family members and cousins who dominate in this type of thing, such as my cousin Austin or cousin Dave. They have Kalama foil, you know, performance boards, and I'm sure this stand-up paddler is having the time of his life right now, just getting out there. He's getting some live coverage, bro.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Wow.
Just unreal.
Looks like he's got kind of a short mast where he's keeping his board close to the surface of the water.
Yep.
Killer, bro. Look at that.
Yeah, this drone is just kind of watching it. You can it's kind of cool because you can, you know, if you watch a foiler extend his line, you can kind of see where he's running to, and you can track the swell. That's basically what he's running. It's a ground swell from underneath. The foil picks it up. It maintains the swell that's on the bottom of the foil, and it just carries you as far as it wants. I've seen them, you know, it's carried them. Obviously, one bump can carry you miles at a time.
Exactly. And just a few, you can make it across the channel. And there it is. You know, they're so much faster. But talking about fast, these V1 guys are killing it right now. But we're really keeping an eye on our second place because he really has a chance to win it all. That's Iorama Tiahu.
Yes.
Great performance from him.
Yeah, and then just, you know, on screen, we're seeing a little bit of that kind of fun texture. I mean, anybody that paddles a V1 and you see bumps like this, I mean, it brings your excitement levels up a little bit, kind of gives you that sense of, all right, at least we got this left. We don't have to fight, you know, headwind. We don't have to fight still water. We get a chance to kind of run a little bit, you know, and that's man, check that out. Just
but running with it, when it's not the perfect swell direction for your direction of travel, is challenging. You know,
sure, yeah,
because that canoe wants to drop in straight with that swell, and you got to do what you can to not only make the most out of the swell, but continue in the direction you want to go.
Yeah, I think it depends too the track that you need to take back to the point. But right here, these paddlers still having you know, a little bit of that fun conditions on the way back, and gives you a chance to get some motivation again, and maybe create your separation, especially if you're a good downwind surfer. Of course, all of these paddlers are really talented, but you know, some have a little bit more of a skill set when it comes to these type of conditions, and it absolutely pays off. I mean, we can say the same about any type of surfer that gets out there, but some people just have a little bit better time on certain ones. So just really cool to see, and we're about to see a finisher coming up very shortly as we've entered the last part of our race. And again, big shout out to TNT TV. But there it is. There's your top 8 right now. And I'm going to tell you right now, Iorama Tiahu has a really good chance of winning this. But
Keone, too, is looking pretty good.
Yeah, Keone is also not too far out from potentially winning this race. Taho'E Mano also has a good chance of, again, placing within the top. So, man, this is just incredible. I mean, This is such a great format. It is a little bit of a challenge because it's a race. It's 2 races, and it's an overall time differential that's gonna tell you who wins. I think Kyle's trying to do all he can to get separated from Iorama as well as Keone. Brice also has the next best chance of potentially winning this entire event. If Brice is, again, he's not that far behind. He actually is beating Taho'E probably by 8 seconds. So it's kind of crazy. If Brice is only 7 seconds behind Iorama, he's going to win this. But then if Keone ends up 4 seconds ahead of all of them, he's going to win this.
So, I mean, honestly, like how much
how
much awareness of this do you think that these guys have?
You know what? I think, well, this list that came out, they all knew where everybody stood before the race. They all knew. So this is the list here, guys. It gives us the top 105 paddlers. Right here on the top 12 to 15 is where some of these paddlers are. And the gap or the difference in time is 2 seconds, 7 seconds, 30 seconds. And so they could actually move up or down depending on the overall time now. And, you know, if you are down here, you need to be 30 seconds faster than the guys up here. So that means you need to be like here. And right now, it's a long shot for all of these guys. We've got less than...
Iorama is crushing it right now.
Yeah.
He's probably got the best chance overall, right?
I would say so. If not, if Brice isn't too far behind, then he might have the opportunity to pull it off. But check out this. They got a whale right there on your screen just cruising just inside of the channel here. So super cool to see that.
Reminds me of
life, man.
Reminds me of the Aloha Aito when we had the whales out there for your race, brother.
Man, it was awesome. I mean, that footage was just incredible. It was like breaching while people were paddling. Yeah. It was just so cool to see. Almost on canoes. Yeah, I know. That one between CJ and Manutea.
Oh, it's a whale and her calf.
Yeah, it's a calf. Cool. That calf I thought was actually the big whale, but it's not. Yeah, super cool.
All right. I'm not sure what's happening over there. It looks like they're interviewing a couple of tourists.
It might be just people just kind of spectating or they could be supporting. But, man, check
Look at that. The calf is riding on top of the mom whale.
I mean, that is incredible. I mean, this is parts of the race that, you know, you get to experience. That calf is just cruising. Mama is just underneath.
It's a new baby.
Yeah, that's almost thought that was the big. I thought that was orca. Yeah.
I thought it was with the coloring and the real much darker color and the white.
Check how much bigger Mama is, bro. Those calves are huge. That is such a cool drone shot right there. Check that out. I mean, what a special moment to be a part of the race, and all of a sudden here's some couple whales. Yeah, it looks like they'll be migrating up here shortly. I mean, whale watchers going to be heading out to Lanai Lookout and all that stuff, you know, blowhole. But looks like on screen, it looks like Keith Verdadon here. Keith finished second overall. He was 2 seconds behind Hititua Tairea. So he was actually second place in the first sprint. So depending on where he is right now,
he's got a chance too, man.
He does have a chance. I know Keith kind of dropped back a little bit because right there is Brice, and Brice was not too far behind. Brice was in 6 overall. So, man, it's just too much math to try to consider right now. We're going to have to wait till they finish. But as of right now, the second leg, we see Taho'E having a great race. It looks like, again, Tarofao is up there leading the pack potentially. But you could see no longer are we, side by side with anybody. Everyone has found a different line. The ocean dictates where you're going to go at this point in time. And right there, Manutea Mion, we seen him. He was in the top 20, but he's on his way back to Point Venus, you know, so it's going to be interesting to see where he finishes. He's using that Venom Viper Va'a here. The Venom is wood. It's strip planked wood boats here. But there you go, Manuteo Mayon just having a good race here as well. I think just looking for a good finish. Was 30th from this morning. He was probably about 50 seconds back from the leaders, but I'm kind of curious to see where Kevin is in this group. He was kind of up front for a little bit, but
Kevin CJ was right up there.
I didn't see him in the top 8. I'm not too sure if just the line got misplaced, but check this out. Catching some solid little runs here, some good little bumps, just giving a little clinic there on how to surf. And Manuteo thrives in surf.
Yes.
I mean, he's definitely somebody you got to watch out for when it comes to a surfing section. But, I mean, you got to appreciate any type of race that has that type of surf. It's just awesome to see, great to watch. Yeah, what a great shot of this Va'a here on screen. Definitely starting to make a little bit of comeback on the Viper Va'a scene here as they started replanking, not replanking, but just planking more canoes and getting them out there. Kind of that traditional style that the Tahitians were known for.
Yeah, give it a little more feel. There's some of that live wood there.
Yep, and then right here on screen, also having a good race on another Taho'E Tawa. It looks like maybe Darren Harbelow, I believe, potentially. I'm not too sure. Don't quote me on that, but I know Darren had a great race earlier on the Taho'E, so the month before. And if I wasn't mistaken, Darren was doing really well in this race. I just didn't know what position he was in, but looks like probably somewhere within that top 20 or so.
He's up towards one of the leaders of those packs.
Yeah, because I think Darren ended up 16 in the first part, and I believe this is him. So really cool shot of this Taho'E Tawa here, this snap-in style Va'a. But this surf section looking like, again, another fun one, So this is how the race started in the beginning. They went right into a surf section. So they're going to finish surfing in. Just incredible. And, man, if you're watching.
But this angle is not as good as that earlier surf section. You could really kind of get in the trough and ride it. Right now it's kind of coming from the side, but there's still like maybe a groundswell or something underneath happening that's pushing them downwind.
Yeah.
Down the coast at least.
Yeah, it's definitely keeping them at least, probably having to apply less power and just kind of get on the bumps and maintain, and then, just give what you can where you can. But as we see right here, it's a cool drone shot here on the left side. You can kind of see the point just outside of that small little rock island here on the left, or this little plateau here on the left. So really cool visual here, and that's the cool thing about drones.
Closing in on the finish line. Look at that.
And there we go.
Our top two paddlers there, and you can see the distance between.
Yep. So
what were we talking? 20 seconds?
Yeah, we're talking probably just upwards of that. Maybe closer to that 30-second mark. But right here, this is Iorama trying to catch up with Kyle. Kyle's got a good little distance on him. Kyle's probably got, if you were to gauge that, probably a good 20 seconds, especially when it comes down to
My goodness, it's right there, bro.
Yeah, coming down to that
it's
latter
within the
part.
margin that we were talking about.
Yeah, it could happen, He could actually create that distance that he needs to win this race. But right now, we see this surf kind of giving that little boost as we get towards the point. So we're almost at the finish. Kyle has a little bit of time that he made up on it. I'm going to go out and say that Kyle could potentially win this whole thing. He's definitely created a gap between him and second place, and he just needs to finish strong, and he might be able to pull this off. There is still quite a bit of distance, and he's created some kind of separation. But right here on
it's going to be tight, though.
Yeah.
If that's more than 20 seconds, it's not a lot more.
No, it's not. It's maybe a second or two, and it's going to come down to just every stroke's going to count from here on out for Kyle. Every little bump is going to matter, but same goes for somebody like Iorama. He's going to have to maximize any type of surf if he wants to take this race away from Kyle right now, because Kyle is looking absolutely on fire right now. They don't call him the captain for nothing. And Kyle also won Taho'E, so just, to win both of them would be setting a standard for sure. and kind of just, setting it in stone that he is the best paddler for both Taho'E and Super.
Come on, drone, give us a view of how far back the other guy is.
Here we go. We see another little bump happening. Let's see if he can kind of get back
him.
on. Yep. And I think you could see he's definitely just, like, anytime when you're with the V1, the best thing to do is go with whatever you're getting. You have to go with it. It's all about feel. It's all about making movements. But you can see it is, like you said, Kalai, there is that side swell. It kind of looks like two directional swells right now.
Right.
We've got one pushing directly behind the paddler, and then we've got like this wrap around to the right. So one is a little bit more pressing than the other.
And he can't go straight to the point. He's got to go around this reef head in front of him where you can see some whitewash and stuff, potentially a little treacherous.
Yep.
But we're going to get a quick recap of our race here this afternoon.
Let's go.
Downwind, back up, around Point Venice.
Again, so every stroke is going to count. Every single little bump from here on out is going to count. This is giving you the exact location where our leader is currently at.
Oh, they're right there.
Yeah.
Motu Martin.
So they're going to just have to go around just that reef section. So Motu Martin is right there. That's on your screen, guys, to your left. Kyle has just passed it. Iorama is trying to chase him down. If you're looking at the distance, he's got about 20 seconds on our paddler, maybe less. They still have to make their way around this obviously shallow reef line here. Make their way around, get towards Point Venus, and that's it.
Once they get around here, I think there's going to be a little bit more of an advantage in the swell direction.
Yeah, I think so, too.
They both will be lining up, but man, so right now, by our calculation, Kyle Tarafao needs about at least a 20-second gap on Iorama to be the overall winner today. But, man, I don't know.
So it looks like it's
I don't know if that's 20.
No, it's definitely
not. I don't think it's 30.
Yeah, so right now it shows that if you do your math correctly, it's going to be 31 seconds. Kyle needs to put 31 seconds between him and Iorama to win this race. But
I'm curious how aware of that he is at this moment.
I'm going to say that he's not aware of it. I think he's just going to try get as fast of a time as possible and just leave it up to that. There's no telltale to say that he's looked back to see if that's Iorama behind him. And
right, and how would he know Iorama's time?
There's no way.
No like support boat that's coming up to him and saying, hey, man,
20
you got
seconds,
30 seconds on
yeah.
that guy. And where he could really, just go balls to the wall on this thing for the last couple miles to make sure he's got that differential. And so right now, unbeknownst to him, he could be slacking off just ever so slightly and losing himself this race.
I definitely don't think he is. I think he's going to give it all he got to try to create any separation. But it's interesting because Iorama looked like he ran that little right there, inside, and it looks like he's going to keep that inside line and try to make up. But I think maybe Kyle's reading water right now. I think he sees that there's a little bit more of that swell direction from the outside. Hopefully he can turn it down and actually create more separation. So I think it's about gambling a little bit.
Yeah, what a nail biter.
Yeah,
bro.
I mean, does it get any better than that for a V1 race? Probably not. It's like anything, any type of race. It comes down to small decisions that are made at that time, Yep. And it's just about reaction. It's about feel. And you know what? He's gonna feel good. If he sticks it out, he's gonna say he won this marathon part of this race, and that's a huge testament to the second part of any race.
I just think it'd be phenomenal to see him win. Not only the regular Taho'E, but to win this.
Both of them
overall, right?
Yeah.
He's obviously seems like he's going to win this section of the day.
Sure.
But to see him be able to win the cumulative time, the overall for
would
this
be awesome.
Super Aito today would be pretty cool. And Kyle's definitely a deserving guy. He's a tough paddler and a good person. So we'd be stoked to see him do it. But, this guy, it's funny. It's like watching a movie when you feel like you know something that
they don't,
the character doesn't,
yeah.
right? And it's playing out towards the crescendo of this movie, and you're like, don't you know how to play it? You're yelling at the TV, right? Come on, you got 20 seconds on the clock, Kyle. Come on.
Yeah.
And these guys back here are like, oh, no.
I know.
You know, so it's kind of nerve-wracking, man. I'm like,
This is the edge of your seat kind of thing. You want to see like a big swell come in and help push him and get him to where he needs to be. But, I mean, like you said, you just don't know. But, again, right there on the screen, we've got Kyle currently leading right here in this bright green high-vis Phi. Then you got Iorama slightly behind, probably no more than 20 seconds. Tuatea Terai Mano is in third place. Keone Sopis and Brees both in a potential chance to at least podium and medal for sure.
Yep.
Revi was kind of back of the pack in the first sprint, but as well, you know, it's not that far apart.
And some good lessons to be learned on how to work this format. Like how hard do you come out in the morning?
Yeah, you know, I mean, again, like they said, we heard earlier interviews, some people are just really good at sprints and short distance, and some people prefer the marathon side, but it does play out in the long run of this entire day. And, you know, this is a lot of paddling to go through. I mean, they did 30 minutes of paddling previous to this. Calculating right now, we're at 2:17, so we got pretty close to 3 hours of paddling right now, and that's a lot for any person to endure. But these athletes know what they came in trying to do. But you know, even on screen right now, this Terai Mano just trying to make his way into that potential talk of maybe winning or medaling, and he's in third place right now, and he's trying to chase down Kyle. Kyle's trying to up his time. It's just incredible. There's a lot of dynamics for today's race.
So again, if folks want to see that overall times from not overall times, but times from this morning, that's something that they could maybe find at supertahoe.com, or is there someplace they can look that up?
Yeah, you know, we might be able to bring that up on screen potentially, or it'll actually get popped up.
We're getting a head shake from
most
the guys behind the
most
screen.
likely it'll be produced towards the end of this race, but you can find some of these online. A lot of it is on the Seva website that's been posted on Facebook. You can also find it on our Facebook channel, where you might be able to find it in the comment section. But right now, man, Kyle maybe having a good chance at creating a little bit more separation. We see the swell. It's about 1 to 3 meters running this reef line. You can see that the point is just right around this reef line, and that's it. This race is over. You can kind of smell the finish line, but you don't know if you're going to finish
that was
first.
mean at the finish line.
Yeah.
Man, you know what? It's, again, nerve-wracking. Does Kyle know how much? There's no way he knows.
No, there's no way.
There's no way he knows. And I'd be, you know, if I had only known, I would have pushed a little harder. Let's see, man. And not to say that they're not pushing.
Oh, he's looking back.
Yeah.
He's definitely gave a few head checks, and he knows that he needs to create some time separation. So the further he is away from any of these paddlers, the better chance he has at winning this entire thing.
Yeah, because Iorama's right there, man.
Yeah, and I would love to see Kyle.
Look at that. That's not 30 seconds, bro.
Well, neither is that for Terai Mano as well. So again, it comes down to positioning at the end of the day. But as you can see right here, this is the last part of that reef line that they need to kind of approach. So you see this white water. All that is just the exterior reef line. Point Venice is just inside of that. So they need to wrap around that entire reef line before they can actually cross into the finish line.
So I would assume that's part of the course requirement, right? You got to stay outside.
Yeah, there it is. Yeah, you cannot cut it, but because you still got a finish buoy that you got to get around as well. Man, this is just insane. What's up, Chris? Watching live on Facebook from Maili.
Kalili from Maili.
Yeah. Right now, yeah, this is not too far. Iorama's got probably a good 10 seconds between him and Kyle. Kyle would really have to put on the pressure, but again, there's still enough room to make up that gap. There's definitely enough room. Kyle has done it before where he totally pulled away from everyone last race. And Kyle's got a lot left in the gear settings that he has, and he's got a lot of strength and power that can come out
Not
of
that
it.
I think it's going to happen here, but, man, how incredible would it be to see a guy win this big leg of the race and not be on the podium for the overall?
No, I know, and it's
That'd
possible,
be crazy.
and it's possible that might happen for Kyle, unfortunately, because of this morning's first leg. Iorama, again, is less than, 31 seconds behind, which would put him already in the medaling. Then you've got Keone and as well as Brees not too far behind. And so both of them have a chance to get there.
All right.
Let's go, Chris.
All right, Chris. Mahalo for tuning in. Yeah, bro, this is an exciting one right here. But I tell you what, bro.
You can paddle any time of your life.
Is this going to be – hey, never too late to start paddling, for sure. But is this going to be a format changer for the Aloha Aito?
No.
I think we might come on, man. There should be this little, morning race thing. Or
we definitely kind of jotted around some ideas on it.
What about the 6 guys that paddle the second day in the 6-man?
Right.
You add up their total times.
For an overall total winner. That could happen.
That'd be kind of
That'd be kind of fun, actually, just to see, right? Like, join in, get your crew of 6. You have to enter 6 into the V1, 6 into your unlimited, and total everything as part of a 6-man overall.
like, separate
as a
trophy
team.
or whatever.
That'd be so cool.
And then you tell them, oh, I don't know. Sorry, you out. You never paddled too hard today.
Yeah.
What?
You're done. Oh, but check this out. This is
I don't know. He's making a gap now.
That's what I'm saying. This is a drone shot right here. Kyle is absolutely putting on the pressure. Kyle's
maybe he does
got
know.
gears, man. He
took a look at this and kind of recognized some of those names and took a look at who was ahead of him on this list, made a mental note, and now he's seeing this young man behind him going, "Bro, you know what?
Like I said,
I gotta close the door right now."
I said there's definitely time for Kyle to keep separating himself. That guy's got some gears that just are unheard of, and he's not on the top for no reason. He's got a lot of things going for him. But then again, Iorama is putting on a great race right here. He's trying to close up the gap on Kyle.
It's not happening.
And somehow Kyle always manages to kind of move along that reef line pretty smoothly. He's finding little bumps here and there. And those are the other things that we've got to consider is the ocean is going to give you what it gives you. And sometimes the ocean just keeps providing for one person. And that's just how it is.
And it's the timing, too. As he comes around that corner into the race, he could jump on a little something and
get 3 seconds, 4 seconds.
4 seconds. And the next guy's timing might not be as good. He's only going to get that wave at like the last little bit,
And that happens. That happens on so many races. But as far as the way this format.
The McFarlane, right?
Yeah.
You could be in the lead and you turn and you get the wave and it's over.
I can't even tell you how many times we were the first ones to the buoy, turn around, try to get in, and you think you're winning. All of a sudden, someone just sneaks on a wave.
Or you could be like 5th place, but you line up perfect with it and you come in and you smash everybody.
Yep, that's just how it is.
There you go. Mihimana Amin.
Yes,
images. He likes the photography here, as do we.
It's
Great
amazing.
feed from our friends over at TNTV. Mahalo for this simulcast. Great drone footage. Very dramatic, and you can see some other paddlers coming up the coastline there just checking it out, checking out the action.
This is when you send somebody on and say, you better go, guy. Yeah. You don't have much time. Neck to neck. Tom Fishbeck. What's up, Tom?
Put the honey hat on. You know it, brother.
Yeah, Tom. Yeah, this is, again, you're watching the Super Taho'E 2025, and absolutely, really, really appreciate everyone tuning in. Your main sponsor is Sprite. TNT TV putting on an absolute stellar drone shot here, and got my man Kalai in the booth with me.
Got to sport it, you know what I mean? Got to sport it. But, yeah, I think just a real... a nail biter into the finish line here. And the thing is, we're still biting our nails well after they finish because, it's not until you get maybe like the first
we still need
minutes worth of finishers that you really can be confident to start calculating times. I mean, look at this right here. Look at this wave coming
Kyle's
in
got
in front of that ski. Look at him.
Kyle's got a little bit of something on the inside. He's already made his commitment towards the back to Point Venus. So Point Venus, your finish line here. Kaio is trying to get as much separation between him and Iorama to, if he can get anywhere between 25 to 30 seconds, could potentially put him on the podium to win this entire Super Taho'E here. Super Taho'E 2025 brought to you by, again, TNT TV, Sprite, a bunch of championship paddlers, Stevie, Teo, Tata, just a big shout out to you, Stevie. Thanks
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday. Holy Lahanau. Thanks for, again, having us on here. And man, Kaio, just unreal. But if you're looking for any of your gear, go to shopoutrigger.com. Big shout out and mahalo to our sponsor, Are Tahiti, for making this simulcast possible.
Mahalo, Are.
Yep, and right here, Kaio, the captain, Team Air Tahiti.
Yeah, he's
There's
going.
his
Look at him,
gears.
he's going.
He knows
Gears,
he needs
gears
to
on
do
gears.
it. And can he create that separation? Can he put 30 seconds in between him
Ooh, I don't know.
and second place? It's going to be a hard-fought battle here to the end, but this is it. It
is not
Look
for
at his
sure.
little bump, though. He's on
Yeah.
something. He's
Look at
getting it. And he's got an opportunity right now to win this overall Super Taho'E 2025 coming into this finish line. Man, check that out. He just got like this nice running bump the entire way, and he's trying to just get as much gap as he can. But you know what? Iorama's closing up on him. Terai Mano is closing up on him.
It's going to be dang close, bro.
I'm going to say, let's go right on the line.
It'll
And,
be within 5 to 10 seconds.
So look at the finish, gang. If you're looking, the clock is on your upper left.
We're going to count.
We're going to go ahead, and as soon as he finishes on that finish line, we're going to press the start button on our clock here.
There
and we're
he is.
gonna
Look him.
We're going to see if he can get that gap.
Try to do some athletics.
31-second gap he needs to have on top of right now the closest paddler, which is Iorama. But not too far behind him is Brees, and then as well as I believe it's going to be Keone Sopis. So just, man, this is going to be something else to see.
This is tight. 1 and 2 is tight. I think he's got those other guys.
I think he's got the other one, but I don't think he's going to have Iorama. But you know what? He's trying. He's really, really trying to make sure he gets there.
But so is Iorama. Look at him behind there.
Man, this
Iorama
is
is going for it in
insane.
second place. Look at that. Up,
Well, he's
up,
trying
up.
to
He's
keep
something.
ahead of Terai Mano right there. But that's the battle within the battle, right?
Yeah. And you know,
come back. We need to see Kyle finish and get the time. Here we go.
Okay.
We're almost at the sprint buoy. Kyle's going to win this marathon, guys, for the second part of this race. But does he have the race in the bag? Other than that, here we go.
Okay.
Let's see. It's going to be close. It's going to be darn close. That's 2:28:59.
so we're looking for 31 seconds. We're already at 10.
Oh, man. Oh, my goodness. This is going to be so close.
18 seconds. Oh, brah.
Did Iorama do enough to... Ooh.
Brah, that's like 27 seconds by our clock. Right there, you have it.
Oh,
27
my gosh.
seconds. You were right. Your clock worked.
Crazy. Okay,
so by the calculation,
Iorama beat out Kyle by probably no more than 3 seconds.
Holy crap!
I mean, it's just incredible.
Okay, now what about Tuatea?
So Tuatea Teraimano was kind of
far down.
Yeah,
okay,
he was
so
a bit
it's not gonna matter for him.
So I don't think we're going to be able to say.
So Kyle's probably handily in second place.
Potentially, but there's Keone Sopis who's closing the gap, and Keone also had about 35 seconds on Kyle.
Right, but we're well past 35 seconds.
Right, well past.
Now we are.
But now as far as beating everyone else, is Keone going to be able to come, right there is Keone coming across at 2:30, and then behind him is going to be another paddler. They actually called Keone in fourth, but this is Keone right here in this black and white Teuri Tawa. So they got that mixed up. Hopefully they can make that correction. They shouldn't have posted that. That was a different paddler in the other Teuri Tawa. But right here is Brees coming in.
And Brees was...
Oh, man.
Kind of way at the top there, right? He was 6th overall this morning.
Wow, this is going to... And Narai, they got it right. So Narai was 4th place. That's who I thought it was, Narai Adger. So Narai, you know what? Narai Atker might actually have pulled it off because he was not too far behind.
No,
as far as the medaling.
Yeah.
No, I'm talking about potentially being in third place overall.
Yes.
I
hear you.
Third
Yes.
place overall. So it looks like we're going to see potentially Iorama taking first, followed by Kyle Tarafao, and I believe Narai Adger probably is going to be your overall winners. I mean, it's just it's going to be interesting how it all calculates, but dang, tell me not. That race that Kyle just had was just
5 seconds, Kyle.
Incredible to watch, I mean.
And here's the thing. If Kyle was aware, he probably could have found
somewhere
5 seconds
somewhere
in there, somewhere,
yeah.
Someplace to push the 5 seconds. And it's a testament to you never know where you're going to need it and how much you're going to need. So you just got to go all in the way this type of format changes the mindset of the paddler in that race.
Oh, absolutely. I mean,
and now, even though this is probably only, is this the second time they've done this?
Yeah, this is the second
time. So it's only the
second
time this has been done. And I don't know what it was like the last time, but now, from now on, every race, these guys are going to be thinking that.
Yeah, I
it's
mean,
going to be in their head.
I just think this is really cool to watch. I mean, it's incredible to kind of...
It's a genius format.
Yeah, it's incredible to kind of follow and try to see where everybody's at. And again, it comes down to race as hard as you possibly can. And I'm sure nobody's going to question whether Kyle didn't give his all because...
Right, but if you race... If that's your mindset, race as hard as you possibly can, you're going to burn out.
Yep. And then even right now, I mean, we've got Keith coming across. Keith had a great showing, came second this morning in the sprint part of the first leg. And it looks like he's coming across, probably top 10. And he also had a really good overall time. So who knows at this point where everybody is actually at. But I will say it looks like Narai Atker, Iorama, Tiahu, both potentially in the medaling right now, as well as Kyle, if he had enough gap between everyone else. I mean, just incredible. What a great race.
Plus 27. Wow.
Yeah, I was pretty close to...
And he needed a plus 32.
Yes.
Basically 5 seconds.
Yes.
Wow.
So again...
After what would that be? If you calculated in this morning's time, 3 hours of racing, it came down to a 5 second differential.
Yeah, 3 hours of racing,
Golly.
5 second differential. It's just incredible.
Qu'est-ce que tu as pensé de ta course en général? Super la course. Comme j'ai dit, je me suis bien entraîné.
Looks like right now we're just getting interviews coming in from some of our finishers. But if I'm not mistaken, it could be...
que je pouvais content du résultat. Voilà. Félicitations. Merci Iorama.
Yeah, it looks like Iorama he had a great race. Iorama representing Taho'E. Really awesome program. We got to visit Taho'E when we were the club while we were on Bora Bora, and it was just really cool to see all of the old canoes that they had there and their program. And they'll be here for Molokai as well, so it's going to be
nice,
awesome to see Taho'E as they'll be here for Molokai as well as Shell. I did hear some other teams potentially coming from Tahiti, so it's going to be interesting to see which teams decide to show up. So looking forward to hosting and seeing our Tahitian families and friends here in no less than a little over a month about.
What's the next distance race coming up for the men's program, Micah?
Actually, it's going to be next weekend. We have the Ayao. Henry Ayao is coming up. Tomorrow we got the women's race, Elahoe. It's going to be from Maunalua Bay, so Hawaii Kai to Nanakuli. Same for the men's distance. Just really looking forward to seeing that.
What's the distance on that?
Oh, man, I'm going to say
30
about 30, I want to say 32 miles. I don't really have it calculated
far
in
enough.
my brain.
Far enough.
Yeah,
bro.
enough to.
And that's always the thing I envision about racing from, I guess, that section from Diamond Head Buoy
down
to it's always
just getting to Waikiki.
You see the Evaplane drift into the ocean, right? And what you don't realize is that it
Way
keeps
more.
going way more than you think.
Keep going around the bend and keep
aim
going.
way
keep
outside, boss. Stay outside because it's so easy with the surf and all that to get sucked
Push
down into by Honolulu Harbor and Pearl
push
Harbor
down, and then you got to
yeah.
come back out.
Stay out, man. You got to stay out. But really, that starts by setting yourself up when you leave Hawaii Kai.
Sure, you gotta
maintain
take a line that distance
out.
outside.
Yeah.
A lot of guys like to run that inside line too at Diamond Head,
faster.
trying to get a little bit more of that inside coastal wave length. But man, yeah, that's what's coming up here on Oahu. I think there's a few other races across the island on other places, but probably a little bit smaller after coming off a Queen's race. But today was all about the V1 Super Taho'E, brought to you by TNT TV, Sprite, Ade Tahiti, Ocean Paddler Simulcast. Big shout out to shopoutrigger.com. And if you got any of your needs, go ahead and check it out. Just what incredible race we got to witness. Definitely not sure exactly the overall standings, but going out on a limb saying Iorama potentially won the overall, but Kyle coming in first on the second leg for the marathon. And
really he had a great performance, bro. And just to see that pack of 16,
that was
when
incredible.
it came to the second half of the race, who really kind of switched the gear and kept going,
Yeah, when we get to see something like that, especially 1 hour into the race, 1 hour in, most times you would expect to see a pretty big separation with everyone, but 16 to 20 paddlers all bunched up, battling. It came down to condition. Once the conditions got from unfavorable for a certain part of the group, it definitely made a little bit of a challenge. So that's really what it came down to, is conditioning and everything.
And like we've seen with so many of these races, whether it's V1, OC1, 6-man, whatever, the race really comes down a lot of times to who's ready to continue to attack in that last quarter of the race. Speaking of that, we're going to take a quick commercial break here and come back with what we hope are going to be the official results for this race. We're looking to maybe see Tuatea Te Raimano pulling it off, but we'll be back with our continued coverage of the 2025 Super Taho'E from Tahiti simulcast with TNTV. It's the Super Taho'E live simulcast with our friends from TNT TV, brought to you by Ade Tahiti. ShopOutrigger.com. Mahalo to TNT TV and the organizers of Super Taho'E. And by Ocean Paddler TV, dedicated to making outrigger canoe paddling a spectator sport. We live for the water, the adventure, the speed, the freedom. But nothing matters more than staying safe out there. That's why we trust Voga Va'a flotation vests. Available now at shopoutrigger.com.
For me, it's a Ferrari, this canoe. The V1 teaches you a lot. It can be a boat for beginner because when you're beginner, you don't expect nothing from a boat. You will learn with the boat. So the Marara is a boat for everyone. It's a boat who can increase the glide like very high. You can, in 2 or 3 strokes, you can improve like 1 or 2 kilometers. So that's why I love the Marara.
Get yours at shopoutrigger.com. All right, that's right. ShopOutRigger.com for all of your needs. Big mahalo to them and Are Tahiti for supporting today. And big mahalo to TNTV for sending us this live feed of the 2025 Super Taho'E from Papeete, Tahiti. And a really exciting race, a nail-biter. And I'm still kind of, I mean, we think we see the numbers. Obviously, I don't think our math is wrong, but you don't know until you know, right? You don't know until they announce it.
Yeah, thanks, Jesse, for tuning in. Definitely was an incredible event, and we're just happy to be a part of the broadcast. We love paddling, and it's all a part of getting to recognize the paddlers and appreciate the battles that they're sharing out on the water. But again, it's just incredible to see. I mean, these athletes are awesome.
I wouldn't have thought if you had asked me like 5 years ago. Let's just throw out pre-COVID, right? That we would be live simulcasting, races in Tahiti that we're able to share with paddlers here in Hawaii and the rest of, like, I guess, the English-spoken world to see what's going on. And it's pretty cool, and you don't really understand sometimes how it begins to just be another piece in the puzzle to really up the level of paddling globally, I hope, because I certainly see it here in Hawaii and view it as an indication of what's happening out there. I talked to a youth paddling coach just yesterday, and I've been seeing things out there, and man, they're just excited at the level of commitment and how into it these youth paddlers are compared to how we were historically. Kids paddled and it's fun. It's a thing you did during the summer, and there were maybe like one or two that were really committed and were going to be top paddlers. And now it's like the whole team, and it's not even like the whole 6-man team. They got like 12 boys, 12 girls that are like in it, that are all about it. Like, that's their sport. They wear paddling jerseys to school, and they talk paddling in their free time, and they go, what are you doing for fun today? We're going to go on a one-man run, and then we're going to go do something else. It's not like we're going to the mall and hang out, or if we do, we're going to go paddle first, and then go to the beach.
Grab some food or something.
I've seen a lot of that, and it's really evident in the level of our youth paddling here in Hawaii, at least. I'm seeing, and what those kids at Big Island Junior Va'a did was amazing. But what we didn't talk about as much was how many youth teams there were behind them that were fast, bro. The Molokai boys were good. I seen Kiayako boys were doing really good too. Just Leeward Kai's group got a great group over there. Alfred Van Giesen's working with. A lot of these teams, and they're competing with the men. And speaking on behalf of the men, it's pissing me off. Who are these kids coming in here think they can take paddling from the boys? Like, what's up? But you know what I mean? But when you look at it historically, that's what happens.
Sure.
In the best place in the world, in Tahiti. It's always the next crop. It's the new kids that are coming, and
we're seeing that, right?
Sorry, Jimmy Austin. Brother, we're aging out, but
oh my God.
I mean, really, these kids are coming, and he's part of the problem. He's doing some incredible coaching over at Lanikai now and creating just these animals out there, and I'm seeing them coming from every island. Kilohana, right? On Kauai, Hawaiian Canoe Club on Maui, Big Island Junior Va'a, all these clubs on Oahu. And they're coming, bro. And they're coming not from one corner. They're coming from every angle of the state. Molokai, bro. Got a top team. Kikama Elms team. Those kids are hammers.
It's just awesome to see. And again, it's a testament to even the coaches that are out there giving up their time, a lot of sacrificing to be able to provide for these kids because, that's a part of the reason why I think these junior programs have started to thrive.
Agreed.
I mean, there's definitely a lot of sacrifice that those coaches, as well as the parents, are putting
happening
in.
Behind the scenes. You're not seeing, right? Fundraising. Right? Who's driving that kid to practice?
Sure, all the time.
Who's making sure that they're doing their homework so they're not in trouble so that they can paddle, right? And then they get paddling all year round. They could do it ILH, OA, right? They can do summer paddling with, HCRA, Okra, Huiwa'a. They can do the Naopios coming up. And there's all these opportunities. And these guys creating, like you, Rudderless Hawaii, with these little teams of these OC1 and V1 paddlers out there. It's incredible. And it's happening. And I'm really starting to notice a certain, it's hitting a certain crescendo out there where it's happening in enough pieces that it's kind of a thing now.
It's
it was
uplifting.
an isolated thing almost when Pfluger and those guys started doing it. Kalaui Kai, they were kind of one of the first guys knocking on the door and pushing the element.
For sure.
But it's coming from all directions in the state, bro. And I can't tell you how stoked I am to see it, and I love it, bro. I'm stoked on these kids.
Same. I think the excitement of watching the progression of a young paddler, and it's something as simple as even like a Marcus or a Kalae or just
boys.
anyone that we've kind of seen grow through the years, Ali'i, and it's just watching their level kind of change and develop, and that's some of the things we just really, really can appreciate. But here we've got a little bit of our finishers. So for those of you that have tuned in, the second part of today's race, a total of about 3 hours plus of paddling. Again, this is basically V1 ironing at its finest. The biggest race right now happening in Tahiti. This is your Super Taho'E 2025. Closing it off with a few of those interviews from some of our paddlers that just crossed the line. There was a total of 105 entries. And we've yet to get the exact finishing of our racers, but we do know it came down to a nail biter. It was a close finish. It does look like Kyle Tarafao was able to make his way into the podium, I hope, based on the numbers that we've seen. Iorama, and then looks like Atger as well had. So Narai had a great race. So I think those potential names are the ones we're going to see in the 1, 2, 3. But all these other racers had a great, showings as well. I mean, we seen an interview on screen while we were talking. Hiti Tua Tairea, another part of the board members of the Taho'E. And, just competing and representing. Also, one of the first winners of Seva'a and being a part of that. And, the level of athletes, like you said. We've seen juniors, paddlers coming up. Keone Sopis, like you said, part of a really good program growing up. And now with Team Shell, now he's part of your top 10. Keith Vernadon, just the names just keep rattling. And these are, like you said, the up and coming. And so in Tahiti, it's continuous. We see events like this that happen year round throughout their entire archipelago of islands. It's just really cool to see,
It's amazing. And I love to see just the parity, but I love to watch, and I say this every time, and maybe I'm a little biased, but I love to see just these Tahitians doing a Tahitian thing, perpetuating their culture in their home waters. You know what I mean? There's nothing better than that. I just the overall feel of this and watch their lifestyle, the importance that the whole community in general, that whole archipelago puts into paddling and the perpetuation of their culture. And I think it's amazing. Do your thing, be you 100%, bro. And this is what this is. And that's why part of the reason why I love so much our local kids. Like, hey, don't get me wrong. Nothing's wrong with a football scholarship and paddling probably not going to put food on the table, but it's part of what we do, and the lifestyle and the network of people you'll build, all those things is great for you, and it's something you can do your whole life. So it's incredible. All right. Here we go.
Okay, so this is the second part of this race. Kyle Tarafao coming across first for the second leg. Iorama Teahu coming in second. Tutea Terai Mano coming in third. Narai Adger, Raihere, Keone, Tutea Ri'i, Terai Ri'i, Tupa Ri'i, and Keith Vernadon. So those are your top 10 on this second leg. As you can see, there's a plus 27 seconds. So that means Iorama was 27 seconds behind Kyle. However, and there you got your remainder of your top 20. So, I mean, pretty interesting. We seen Revy at one point leading this entire pack.
Yeah, and look, he came 20th.
Ended up in 20th overall. Who knows? Maybe just a little bit of something that changed. Brees as well, kind of up there in the top. Kevin, Hotu Proe, Manutea, Jacob, Taho'E Inui, Darren, Hitapu, Temoana, Revi, rounding out your top 20.
Yeah, and then Hititua, who won this morning's leg,
right,
not even in the top 20.
Yeah. So just
interesting. But Keith Fernandon, probably the number 2 finisher from earlier, was in the top 10.
Yeah, so it's just like that's the part of this race. I mean, there's definitely a new entry of the potential dynamic. Hopefully, we'll be able to give you a final finish. But if we sign off before then, that's how the second part of the leg turned out. Kyle Terafal, your captain from Air Tahiti, going ahead and winning this leg. How he ends up at the end of this, not too sure. But just what an incredible race that he had.
Hey, either way, bro, the guy put down a killer performance.
Yeah, and he won Taho'E. So that, just to be the marathon winner that he is, it's just incredible.
But this format of this little race in the morning and adding times together really kind of kept it super interesting for me and really watchable all the way through. Just a nail biter up into the end, like some of our fans on Facebook were commenting. But great day of racing for the Tahitians down there with a super Taho'E, and we're going to hang on for a little bit. When we are going to come back, hopefully with another visual that's going to put all those times together, and we get some official results from our gang back there at the Super Taho'E. But we're going to take a quick break again and thank our sponsors, and we'll be right back.
Merci Johan, merci beaucoup. Bravo pour la course.
It's the Super Taho'E live simulcast with our friends from TNT TV, brought to you by Are Tahiti. ShopOutrigger.com. Mahalo to TNT TV and the organizers of Super Taho'E. And by Ocean Paddler TV, dedicated to making outrigger canoe paddling a spectator sport. We live for the water, the adventure, the speed, the freedom. But nothing matters more than staying safe out there. That's why we trust Voga Va'a flotation vests. Available now at shopoutrigger.com.
For me, it's a Ferrari, this canoe. The V1 teaches you a lot. It can be a boat for beginner because when you're beginner, you don't expect nothing from a boat. You will learn with the boat. So the Marara is a boat for everyone. It's a boat who can increase the glide like very high. You can, in 2 or 3 strokes, you can improve like 1 or 2 kilometers. So that's why I love the Marara.
Get yours at shopoutrigger.com.
Allow us to help you grow your brand and expand your business by reaching Hawaii's giant outdoor sports and ocean enthusiast demographic. Zone Media specializes in social media content production and distribution, drone and video production, cutting-edge live productions, and more. With over 25 years leading Hawaii's action sports market, give us a call to find out how we can help you grow your business.
We live for the water, the adventure, the speed, the freedom. But nothing matters more than staying safe out there. That's why we trust Voga Va'a flotation vests. Available now at shopoutrigger.com. Made with flexible neoprene for comfort, built tough for every condition. Safe, comfortable, and you'll look great too. Because the ocean deserves your best, and so do your loved ones. Voga Va'a flotation vests. Make it home safely. Gear up today at shopoutrigger.com.
All right, gang. Sorry about that. A little premature, as I've been known to be. We are just receiving the final results with the added time differentials from this morning. Again, there was a short, roughly 3-mile race this morning, about 30 minutes for our top finishers. And then, depending on how they finished in that race, the amount of time off of the leader will be added to their overall time for this afternoon's race.
Yep.
And so once that's all calculated out, we got something totally different. So what are we looking at? Here we go. It was on the screen earlier during our break, and we were able to kind of screenshot it there.
Yep. So first place, we did have Iorama Teahu actually coming across overall. So this is your overall results for Super Taho'E. Iorama Teahu got first place. Second place went to Kaio Tarafao.
By just 5 seconds.
Wow. And then Tuatea Terai Mano came in third place. So, man, just incredible. And again, that was all based on this morning sprint race, as well as the long distance race. So just incredible.
Awesome. So again, Irama Teahu with a cumulative 2:59.57, and then what happened was Kyle Tarafao was off him by 5 seconds.
Yep.
So they bumped his time up to 3:02.
Yep.
And then Tuatea Teraimano was plus 15 seconds, and he got a 3 hours 12. And then Narai Atcher was plus 33. But they're all,
just all within a minute.
Those first four within 30 seconds.
Yeah, it was again. So how it played out was we got our first race of the morning. So the first race of the morning was, again, about a 3-mile race, 30 minutes of a sprint. Then they had a couple of hours to kind of relax and get themselves, hydrated and fueled up as they took on the 30-kilometer course, which we estimated to be just over two hours. So in fact, it came out to a total of basically 3 hours of racing. And incredible. Iorama Teahu from Toamak coming across first overall in standings. So I think he was 9th place in the morning and 2nd place this evening. So that's how he ended up overall first. Kaio Tarafao was like 30th or something, or a lot lower this morning, and first overall. But because of his time difference, he ended up 2nd. And then Terai Mano, I didn't see where his name was on the list, but obviously he finished somewhere up on the top. And so with that, that's how we found our 1st, 2nd, and 3rd overall. So I was looking for him earlier, and I knew he was somewhere up there, but I think they missed him in the scaling of the 105 paddlers. But Kalai, we saw just a great battle. I love that format. It really gave us a sense of where is everybody at, who's gonna win. So just cool.
It was pretty cool. A great day of racing. Talk about the ocean giving you all kinds of different looks. We started out this, the longer race with like a rain squall with like wind, and then they turned into the channel there, and then we're coming back up on the inside with like crystal clear, like postcard Tahitian day. Made the turn around the point at Venice, kind of hit down on a bumpy run, and then coming back with the foilers downwinding all around you with whales and foilers. So again, Tahiti does not disappoint.
Never.
And neither do the Tahitian paddlers. Just an incredible performance by all of them. And really mahalo again to all the paddlers for your performances today, showing us what it's all about. Yep. You can use this as a little bit of a blueprint on how to improve your V1 paddling. And mahalo, of course, to Olivier and the gang over there at TNTV for sharing the broadcast with us and allowing us to bring this to the English-speaking world with a simulcast. So mahalo, this will be cataloged, should I say, and you'll be able to check it out at any time and review this race, as with all that we've been showing you, like last week's Queen Liliuokalani race. So as we get ready to close out the broadcast, Michael, any feelings about this race today? Anything you really taking home from today?
Just again, always exciting to witness all of these paddlers and kind of just see how everything has progressed throughout the day. Of course, we love paddling, but most important thing is the messages that we can kind of relay to all the community out there, and just raise awareness, such as some of the things happening within the community. Again, just please look out for your young ones, your elders. Say no to ice was a big standpoint here in Tahiti. Stay away from the drugs and focus on other things, paddle, family, things like that.
Make that your drug of choice.
Yeah, and then again, big shout out to Ari Tahiti, Shop Outrigger TheTrigger.com for allowing us to do this simulcast because, it wouldn't be possible without them. And, again, we love paddling, so it's perfect.
So definitely the thing about take care, don't do ice. And to me, it's like you never know when you're that close, and you got to just push all the time as much as you can. And that's just that's paddling, and that's life.
Yeah.
But, again, we're going to close out our broadcast here. We're going to leave you folks with a recap of the Taho'E race, which happened several weeks back, which kind of like the qualifier for the Super Taho'E, which you did watch today. It was, other than just being a qualifier, it had no bearing on times or anything like that. You just had to get into that race, finish top, and then you made it to today. So, again, great performance by everybody out there. Mahalo to our sponsors, and mahalo to all of you that joined in and watch us here on Ocean Paddler TV with this live simulcast of the 2025 Super Taho'E from Tahiti. Mahalo to TNTV. On behalf of my buddy over here, Micah Kalama, I'm Kala'i Miller, and until next time, hoi pa.
Hoi pa.
Subtitle. Manu and Pop are really good at surfing. We're ready for any conditions, we train a lot. On the big day, we have to be ready for anything. That's exactly what happened today. A long time ago, I used to come in second. If it wasn't Pop, it was George or it was Manu. I'm happy to win this time. Now, I have to keep it up. Today, everyone was here. Winning today is amazing. Congratulations to everyone. I saw that the junior from New Zealand finished second. Hats off to him. Now it's time for the Super CV.
And yes, have fun, enjoy the culture everywhere. That's the thing about the hotel.
I really like the slogan. It's a race organized by rowers for rowers. And guys, with all these great people here, it feels like we're back to the vibe from 10 years ago. Thank you, ESP, thank you, Ricky, and the whole team for organizing this amazing event.
It's a great opportunity for me to leave New Zealand and take part in these events. Yeah, it's different from all those races. You know, you can go to a race every weekend. It's more like Becca. Maybe we'll do Racer 321 on BC.